Yo, I've been eating them with
you
this.
got it.
Did I tell you what?
You better tell me now before it comes on my show.
Oh my gosh, this coffee is cold. That's a good thing.
Candace, he says, does she also have Coke Zero? And then I have a photo of your Coke Zero.
Okay.
Hi everyone, we're in a new room. Hello everyone on the live stream. Nice and cozy everyone.
Everyone on the list.
Okay, our whole one viewer, Mr. President. So, seeing that, well, we do have, where were we? Dog collar comedy, correct? Tanya, do we, so like the thing I was going to ask you is dog collar comedy theory. Do we implement, do we talk about what we're going to do now, or do we have to start this one?
We talked about this semester, the previous one, but they were not originally on this schedule when that was placed.
Yeah. So do we? Dog collar comedy originally wasn't on the schedule, so theoretically, in theory, they weren't supposed to be seen today.
Yeah.
So if we were to implement the next thing that we're going to be talking about, would they be exempt from this?
That's for you to decide.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So the next activity I did have is that we were going to overview finance board for essentially the next 45 minutes, what we're going to be doing for the next semester. The finance board needs to make decisions, and we need to make it known to student organizations as well. So the question, of course, posed right now is that dog collar comedy originally was not on this agenda. However, they were added as a last-minute addition. Would they still be subject to whatever, essentially, cuts that we implement for the next semester, or would they be grandfathered in this semester? Because in theory, they weren't supposed to come in, but we added them.
But at the same time, we also amended the agenda to add them, yes.
But we do not have precedent. I mean, this is my thing. Is we don't have precedent set of not limiting the ability to request for the future.
Not yet.
Not yet. Yeah.
Yeah.
So.
You could always move through whatever changes you want to make and see if any of those changes would apply to their request, and then make the decision.
Is everyone okay with moving to that one first, then?
Can we just?
Are we updating precedents right now?
We are.
Ooh, there we go.
Yeah, I was gonna say, do we just
yeah, we just moved it to the very
move to the bottom, yeah.
Yeah. All right. We'll just move that. Are we okay to move dog collar comedy to the very end then? See if they get affected by this one.
Okay. Move to end the agenda.
For a second. Okay. Move dog collar comedy to the very end at 8:35, whatever it is. Thank you very much. Okay. So now everyone. Oh, some people don't have laptops. Yeah.
Oh, I have.
Okay.
Yeah.
Can you bring out your laptop? You have laptops? Yeah. Okay. Bring your laptop up. Yeah, that'd be great.
You?
I'll pull it up. Okay, so you can do the drive. So, go to the finance report. At the bottom, there should be a file called data. I think it's a Google Sheets form right now. Could you download a copy of that in Excel separately? So,
Jesus Christ. Okay.
I just called. I'm not gonna I mean, I have health insurance. Yeah, I'm fine.
December 15th.
I know, right?
That's the Excel. Yeah, the one in Google Sheets. Yeah. So Google Drive, and then you go to finance board folder.
Squeeze that.
Right. Scroll down. See the other one.
Yeah, I just.
It's got data. There you go. And then use file and download a separate file. Does it work for you? Download a separate one so you don't edit it.
Let's go on file in the elevator. Thank you.
What happens? Dan, you know how to do it?
Okay, SGA drive.
Yeah. Scott, you got to it? Download a separate copy. Yeah. That looks weird.
It does, doesn't it?
When you open yours, does it look weird? It does. Perfect. Yeah.
Where are we going?
Data. It's just the data, normal data file, not the other one.
data.excel.
No, don't use that one.
You just said.
Just use regular data. Yeah.
Do we have one?
That's what this is where I kick you off the computer. Thank you very much.
You said non-top.
No, go to the other computer.
You said non.
Can you write finance
On the whiteboard,
said download
right
it.
on the
and shut the door? But tell people to come in.
So it's this one, not that
Actually,
one.
should we have the door
Yeah.
closed for this conversation?
That's what I downloaded.
Oh,
What's
I was
on the
just like,
whiteboard?
it was loud earlier.
What
So then you
about
open
So
it back up on the
You're on the wrong.
you're on the right one.
And everybody can hear you. So
Right.
it's not like you can whisper because it's
I'm
right
not
there.
even on fire.
Yeah. So excited.
Thank you, Josh. I don't know if this is
What was your
cute.
last for this week? Not this week, for global.
3:45.
You didn't have to invite people this
And
week.
not you were.
Did you guys put a sign in the trees?
Yeah. Josh did.
No, I'm
Definitely.
saying, like, when we had finance board last year, we would have special meetings where we would invite students, but we would just talk about.
That's when you done because of that. Thank you.
Okay, yeah, that's fine.
Yeah. Yeah. Please knock or something like that.
It's fine.
You can tell.
Please come in. Actually,
Yeah,
yes,
please come in.
Please come in. Oh, you don't have to knock.
Yes. Make sure the door is unlocked.
Yes.
Please come in. We're like, oh, I'm getting mixed signals.
Right.
You can erase the date too.
Close that door.
There's a
we
little
just have
tab
to-
underneath.
there's
There's
a
a
latch
black
on the
side.
On the side?
Yeah.
Right under the like.
Down, that
39,
little
6,
latch, right on the side, the bottom latch. On the, yep, right there, right there. Your thumb is. Yes, the other.
Push it down.
Yes.
Okay.
Push it fast, Josh.
There we go. Okay. So everyone has the sheet downloaded right now?
Okay.
Yeah.
So at the current moment, there is one little error at the moment. For global regates, I put the original amount in there. However, the new amount is $1,183. So at the current moment, we have allocated $213,619.
What line
Effectively,
were they?
they were line
F72.
70. Yeah, in 2018-2019 raw is the data sheet you should the sheet does. What's it called?
The last
Page.
tab.
Yeah, the last tab. You should be on right now.
Ah.
Okay.
Why don't we orient them so it's like most This is like a little paper.
We can definitely do that, but it's because this new page pops up. So I'm like, all right, this is the file.
Which one is it?
The amount should be what?
2018-2019 wrong.
Oh, I'm on the wrong tab, sorry. Okay, I'm on the
2018 raw. It should have a number. It says total allocation, and it's the entirety of that
Yeah,
column.
okay.
Right,
I'm on the right page,
it's
okay.
2013, $213,000.
Because I haven't updated it. But when do I have to update?
Are you on the right tab?
You can also just look at the screen, guys.
Or you can just look at the screen. It's one word.
We'll zoom in.
Can you zoom on this?
Yeah, I can. I should be able to. Or not. Okay, there we go.
There we go.
There we go. So that should be the total that we are currently operating with. We'll use a. I'm going under operating under the assumption. Foul, whoopsies. Sorry. Goal fouls. Okay. So we currently have $61,000 essentially at the current moment allocated. Based off of last year's data where we essentially rolled over around $33,000, $13,000 of that was compromised from SAE Snowmobile. I don't think we should assume that will come back again. So I'm comfortable operating with a $20,000 rollback number. $20,000 based off of $33,000 minus $13,000 is $20,000 from everything
And
else.
this is all based on last year
Yeah.
what had rolled back over the course of the year because there will be money that rolls back. It's just impossible to tell how much until we get hard numbers, which will probably take at least until February or March.
Yes. So, what the finance board, so essentially running into the next semester, this is not even including tonight, so we are running into around $80,000, $81,000 best. So, based off of this, the finance board, of course, will need to begin issuing cuts. We need to choose where to utilize the student power right now. And actually, by the end of tonight, we need to be able to send out an email to student organizations saying what changes to the finance board will be occurring in the second semester. All right. So, Now, of course, the question is, what do you guys want to cut? Tanya, Carly, Candace, and I have had a conversation before, so we have some current
And Tori.
and Tori as well. I do apologize. Tori.
I'm used to it at this point.
So we have a couple of things that we have in mind cutting at the current moment. However, of course, it's going to be we do need to make a determination. We cut Tanya or Carly. Like, do you think we should start off first and what we would like to do, or would you like to open up to the board first?
Yeah, I don't mind going into what our thoughts were.
Okay.
Do you want me to say you want me to?
I mean, either
I
or.
can talk.
Okay.
So the first thing that we were looking at was the fact that the student dollar is being allocated to create a vibrant campus life. So part of that is like, what does that really look like? The first thing that we were interested in issuing cuts, because it's been the significant part of our budget so far, is off-campus travel and money going towards off-campus conferences, competitions, registrations, hotels, lodging, traveling.
Rentals.
So I'm going to pause at that point. If there's any other feedback on that. Or
So we're going to be focusing more on campus stuff.
That's the idea.
yeah, so that's like, I agree that that should be a focus point, because even though these are obviously like valuable experiences for everyone and they do bring things back to the UMBC community, I think personally with a limited budget right now, we need to look at what's going to be a more immediate impact. And personally, the more immediate impact of having that money being on campus and where more students would be able to have those experiences is going to be a better like bang for our current buck sort of thing.
So lower percentages. Is what like
Possibly removal.
removal.
Possibly. Well, not that they can't do it, just that we don't fund it potentially.
Have you ever not funded a conference and traveled to it? Because
Oh yeah.
So not funded travel.
Yeah,
Never
like-
not funded registration fees,
Right.
in my experience.
But I know earlier this year there was also a conversation of like, do we just set a cap at registration? But at the same time, what is the affordability of that right now?
Right. So what I've just pulled up right now here is the fall of last year's essentially, the spring semester, how much money we had allocated. I removed a couple organizations because they had already requested it in the first semester, so it doesn't make sense to double count them. So seeing that, we have a total of a bit about $130,000. Yeah. So I'll of course, like, we use this as a hypothetical, assuming that things stay the same, which they won't. But based off of this, if we agree to remove something, I'll remove it from this one so we can see how close we are to getting to a theoretical number, of course. Yeah. So how is everyone comfortable with?
I have a question.
Yep.
When I first joined in the spring, we cut a lot about food. Are we considering that again?
So can we? I was thinking of first we focus on to the matter that Tanya brought up. We'll go one by one through it. Don't want to keep it too large because we want to focus on a couple issues here and there. Yeah.
Well, if we're going on that point, I agree with you.
Okay.
I mean, I'm also favored of funding at a lower percentage because I do feel like we should help as much as possible, even though our money is coming in short. But
Yeah.
if I'm fine with strict as well.
Okay. Zay, Scott, Tanya.
Yeah, I think in terms of like what Tanya brought up, that like in our allocation process it is to create a vibrant campus life on campus and that is obtainable to the general student population, even though we do like to give some assistance, for UBC to compete and prestige students through kind of use their skills and something they develop. I think it would be fair to either what Kanala said, but decrease percentages or just outright kind of set the precedent that at this point we can't fund.
Scott. Okay. Carly.
I agree that we should stop funding travel and lodging for off-campus things. I would still like to, I think like Kunal said, try to fund registration for conferences and competitions maybe at the max cost or a percentage or something, but I'd still like to support that. So, but I agree that we should be spending more money on on-campus events.
So seeing this, I'll propose a straw poll. Option A is to strike registration, travel, essentially all conference fees entirely from the budget. Option B is to reduce it to whatever level you determine.
I feel like personally, in order to vote on this, I would have to know like approximately what ballpark of percentage it's being considered at.
So are we considering the registration fees or the travel to get?
I think we're in agreement to strike travel, everyone, right?
Okay.
Travel,
Yeah,
lodging,
I'm
and
there as well.
Yeah.
I'm there as well.
Okay.
Completely straight.
Yeah,
Travel.
completely strike
Travel and
lodging.
accommodations.
Yeah, but now the question, of course, is registration fees.
I don't feel like we should strike registration. I mean, because I think they have a right to attend this. I feel like we're just blocking their like we're on the way to our goal.
I think coming from the aspect of like someone who's also heavily involved in student organizations, if like while that money is helpful, if like you can't afford the like travel and lodging, like being able to like register for the conference isn't helpful if you can't stay there and get that support. Not saying that like it would have to come from us, obviously there's other ways around that, but I'm not sure how helpful it is to do that.
So review is going hand in hand.
I am.
So just as a heads up though, striking travel and lodging, if we were to do that, have done that last year, only saves us $3,600.
Last year was also only at 25%.
Yeah, but it would only say doing it based off of last year's budget, it would only strike 4,000 off.
How much did we spend on registration fees?
Registration fees would bring that up to a bit over 10,000.
That's a significant chunk of change there.
So we agree to strike hotel.
Yeah, I'm there with you.
These are some that are not.
So Carly and Canal, since you had originally said like wanting to do just like a lower percentage, like do you have any idea what that looks like for you? Or
For registration fees?
Yeah, I was looking at it too. Because I feel like I'd like to look at something that says like, predict your number of people going and maybe doing a per capita student terms, like paying for them like, I don't know, $80 or $100 of however much it costs for one student to go to this conference or conference. So then obviously take a little more background research on like what's been. This is also from last year, but like something I guess to base off of. Oh, this is about generally how much registration fees cost for any given conference, competition, per person, whatever it may be.
Can I pose a question? Oh, sorry. I thought you were stretching.
No.
Go ahead. You had your extra hand.
Yeah, I mean, I think you have to think about like every dollar you send off campus is a dollar that's not used on campus. Right? So every dollar you spend for registration is a dollar that gets taken away from Java Night or from POXA and their event on campus. Or like, so that's real. Because you have a limited amount of money. And the requests that you got in the fall all deserve to be funded, right? And you wanted to be as generous as you could, but you couldn't anticipate what was coming. You didn't know what was coming through your doors. This is the point where we have to say, okay, we've got to take a step back, see what's going on, and make some really hard decisions. But I just can't emphasize it enough. Every dollar you send off campus is a dollar that's not spent on campus.
So like, to put that into further perspective, if say it was like $100 registration fee, that would cover what, at least 10 meals on campus for an event?
That's like the current precedent.
Question that I wanted to pose to all of you is, as far as conferences go, how many groups do you think that a conference is actually like the main focus of an org?
Very small amount.
So most of them are just, it's kind of something extra to do, right?
I'd say mostly those who compete, I guess.
I'm sorry?
Those who compete would be part of like the primary.
Right. I'm thinking more on the line of conferences right
Right.
now. Yeah. Competition, obviously.
But it's also like, hey guys, we made it to nationals. Can we go? No.
Oh, they can go, but
It's not on our
you're
dollar.
not funding them to go.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, I mean, I think like that's the difference is like, I mean, obviously SGA supports like all organizations and their efforts and missions, but it's just a question of if we're able to provide, / be the main provider of funding. And yeah, so I think, I don't know, I think Tanya made up a good point too, of like if we're cutting travel and lodging, like if they're able to afford with just fees, but I'd be comfortable saying like I guess I don't know if a per capita person or per capita cap would work because like each conference like kind of varies wildly sometimes. I think we've seen like registration fees from like 25 per person to like almost 300 or more.
Yeah.
So.
But that's also because a lot of those are including accommodations and the cost of conference.
Yeah.
Daniel, how much was all of ECS for spring?
Oh,
It looks like we only have enough to fund that from what I understand.
ECS was at 66,000.
That's more than we have remaining.
Huh?
That's more than what we have remaining.
Yeah.
So is that all we're gonna do?
What is the board comfortable with doing? Alright, straw poll. Option A will be to strike all conferences and hotels at all conference registration. Option B would to consider it at a lower amount. By the time, do you still need a specific amount?
No, after the conversation, okay.
Okay. All those for option A, please raise your hands now.
See what it is.
Option A is to completely strike registration from next semester's expenditures. Option B is to consider at some level for registration. All those for option A? 3, 4, and all those for option B? 3 against. Okay.
I don't know.
Okay.
Where's the
What shall we do then? What amount do you think is reasonable then? Remember.
So, looking at, oh, sorry.
Yeah.
So actually looking at the raw data, the raw data from 2020, some of these what are considered in that lump sum of registration fees of that column are like, what was one thing that I saw? What was that? The registration fee? Top. Sorry, I should have collected my thoughts before I came forward. A lot of these are like competitions and stuff. Ones I saw that are like really cheap. What am I looking at? The exact thing it looks like.
got a 440.
Like, well, I mean, Impressions Day for Pre-Dental Society is kind of like, kind of like a career day, I guess, of like going out. But like,
But didn't you already fund that? Do they do it twice?
Yes.
Second
I don't-
semester? I don't see pre-dental on there.
here it was an event in the fall of last year.
Yeah, so it doesn't count.
We're not, I hit all the columns
you're
until the second semester, yeah.
What is-
You can functionally just read the entire. With this one, so by semester it has one, that's a 1 in front of you can complete it.
Oh, okay. Sorry. Never mind then.
But one notice about, of course, for the second semester registration fees, 2 of these organizations were limited by the deadlines. crew and what's it called?
I could be wrong. Sorry, go ahead.
Sure.
Yeah.
So I think, like, my distinction is, like, if somebody's making it to nationals, like, and they can't go because they can't get funding, like, I think that would be detrimental to the school, and, like,
They can't go. I just think we can't pay for it.
well, if they can't go because they don't have funding from us.
It's not always only our fault. It's just like, I feel like a lot of times
We have to
it's that
reduce
way.
it, and we have definitely an added responsibility to go lobby departments for more departmental funding, but
Yeah,
the
I mean,
departments can't afford it by themselves either.
I think the argument would be, I think that I'd understand your argument more if it was we keep registration, travel, and lodging, or we don't keep registration, travel, and lodging, but you've already struck travel and lodging. And that's the biggest
Did we
expense.
vote on that?
I thought we were in agreement. Everyone nodded when I said, are we okay to strike hotel and lodging? Yeah.
I'm still at lower percentage.
Oh.
Oh, man, you can vote on that.
If you guys want to straw pull that out, I guess that would change my argument.
You okay? Hotel and lodging, would you like to strike that completely, or would you like to reduce it to it? Option A is to strike it completely. Option B is to fund at a lower percentage. All those for option A. All those for option B. Okay. All right, sorry, Scott, but okay. Does this change your? Zed?
I mean, I think to like that point as well, like I think in the efforts we're engaging in can be productive as well, hopefully will be. But I think we also have to like look at it as kind of what, I mean, Tanya's made it, but also Candace, like every dollar spent outside the university is a dollar like not being able to provide like that vibrant experience like on campus. So I think we need to start looking at more that way in terms of like the financial like situation we're in, providing support. Because I mean, I think showing support through SGA for the student orgs, especially those who compete and like, you know, bring prestige to school is great and everything, but again, I don't think it's in our best interest to just be like, oh, you know, we have to be the main like funders or like supporters, because it should be a collaborative effort. And even though that's not the reality right now, I think we should kind of focus on that on-campus mentality.
Tanya?
So additionally, okay, sorry, two different thoughts going through my head. It's not as if we don't want to support them, but also like we have supported them by like with the previous request. So I think to say that like we're just not supporting them would be like a false statement because of the fact that we've done this. But I think we've seen this year like it's really a big issue with like departments not properly supporting. So I think that we have done like due diligence in what we've done so far with them. Not saying that I wouldn't want to continue, but I don't think we can afford to continue. And additionally, the other thing is like if we hypothetically didn't have like a $275,000 budget at the beginning of the year, like if this was our budget for the beginning of the year, I don't think we would necessarily want to continue funding that at that point either. That could be a different way of looking at it, but my point is essentially it's not that we're no longer supporting them because they've gotten SGA support, like because they wouldn't be able, if the concept is that like they needed the money to be able to compete in the first place, we provided that.
Maybe does it need to be a conversation too of talking about conferences separate from competition?
Yeah, I was thinking that too. Looking at what was spent second semester of last school year, I was looking at just intellectual sports what we had funded, and that was a few thousand, but by only funding intellectual sports for their competition fees instead of just conference fees, that like saves us $3,500, which I know isn't a lot based on this, because there doesn't seem to be many registration fees. I mean, of that 10,000, it was 3,500. Sounds unimpressive, but I think it's a start. I would be in favor of limiting registration costs to like solely intellectual sports or competition like things for non-limited funding organizations. So for example, that would also cut out stilettos and major definition because they are audition, they're like limited membership organizations. So we wouldn't be funding them, but we could fund like mock trial or competitions that are open to all. So the clubs are open to all undergraduate students. So that's fun. That's very fun.
Has anyone changed their mind, or is it still 3-3? 3-3. Okay. Keep going.
Would it be different if conference, or as Tori like questioned, would it be different if conference and competition were seen separately?
Definitely.
Candace, you voiced an earlier concern with that, or no? Or
I mean,
I may be misread.
it's not, I mean, this is your, like, my advice would be not to fund any of it, because then you get into this weird place of like, well, you're funding their registration, but not our registration. And that's not fair. So, yeah. But you need to come to a place, and you have an org coming in at 7 o'clock.
Great.
Put a cap for $1,000 for each word. We don't need it. We would meet our funding for every word.
Oh,
I think just because we didn't have enough.
Kind
No.
of almost $1,000.
Because we have 70 orgs that came in last year. And if we have, we give each $1,000.
Well, we need real possibilities here, Scott.
It's making the assumption
Equity
that
not
many orgs are going to come in again.
There might be more. There might be less.
So,
Just one little tidbit from our last conversation with Britt. $40,000 in the first 2 weeks, right? In the spring.
What?
That's what she said.
What are you saying?
She said there's $40,000 requested
in the queue
in the queue
for
in
the first 2 weeks
Or there's on-campus stuff.
for February.
Yep, on campus events.
Oh, okay.
I think it's only ECS fees, correct?
I couldn't tell you.
Okay. Well, $40,000 worth already. So in the first 2 weeks, in theory.
You want to be able to support as many students and groups as possible.
What was the question again?
That was just a statement. I
Yeah.
Like you're trying to like
sounded like a question, but
yeah, I was like,
you guys, I thought I was going to say something else after that, and then I didn't.
So Daniel, I don't know. So it sounds like you're at a stalemate of registration and for conferences and competitions.
Yep.
But that you have some movement on if you separate out conferences and competitions.
Indeed.
So do you want to vote on that?
Are we good to vote on that?
If you were to say
Completely strike competitions,
No,
conferences, but make considerations for competition.
all right, well,
Okay. Option A is to strike. Are we okay to completely strike conferences? Competitions will leave some wiggle room. Okay.
so you will not entertain any requests for conference registrations, travel, or accommodation.
And that's
Okay.
any
Can I just-
travel and accommodation, not just conference travel and accommodation.
So the definition of like competition, like
They
just
have to
like
be able to win something.
Okay, so like
Not a showcase, not a
networking.
not a networking, not a I submitted a program and it got approved. It's
Okay.
we're competing. We could win first place. That's a competition.
Okay, so we'll move it that way. We'll strike those type of organizations off of this data sheet.
Yeah. So Jessica, just that. Well, you want to vote? I think you need to do a vote.
You ready to vote? All those for approving this measure, please raise your hands now. 6-4, 0 against.
So the measure is strike or not funding conference registration, travel, and accommodation. Not funding competition, travel, and accommodation. But you will consider registration for competitions. You need to come to a decision on a percentage.
We're now at $120,000, everyone.
So, do you want to come to a decision on a percentage?
for
Oh,
competition.
Competition registration.
I think something to keep in mind too is that a lot of these groups are sending more than one team to compete.
Only the 18.
As a fan of Mr. T, I say that sounds great. Who got it?
No view.
Who got it?
Indeed.
Who got it? You didn't get it? The A-Team was a TV
Oh,
show.
the A-Team.
Mr. T was on the
Yeah,
A-Team.
Mr. T was in-
Doesn't he say?
Yeah,
in that
Mr.
video
T was.
before?
You have
Yeah.
to ask.
Oh, Lord. Or it was also a movie. The A-Team was also a movie. Banging movie. Things blew up. Anyway,
Yeah.
so you have to come to a decision on at what percentage will you be funding competition registrations. Currently funded at 50%. Do you want to continue to do that?
No.
Currently, we fund registration. at
Oh, 100%. Sorry, you heard currently funded at 100%. Do you want to continue to do that?
I'm gonna fund at 25%. That's where I'm at.
25%.
25.
Is there a way of figuring out how much that would be projected?
The organization came in for intellectual sports in the second semester.
Oh, okay.
Last year, no one came in for second semester. Asked for registration fees on it.
I think this
Oh,
will be under
this
the
is-
assumption.
AIAA came in, or did they come in the fall?
Those are for
So they
competition.
switched the mock trials.
Yeah, they.
Pete?
Yeah, they're flying their plane.
This says retriever robotics came in.
Oh, gee, yeah.
spring.
Yeah, these are competitions.
You got this?
Oh wait, that's just kidding. I confused them with the theater technical conference.
Or maybe yeah.
This says mock trial on here.
Oh no, they didn't. Oh wait.
Model UN's coming in the first semester already. They're coming in to
Right.
instruct those guys off.
Mock trial?
Mock trial came in.
Oh, they
first
didn't ask for
semester.
registration fees. They asked for hotel and transportation.
Generally, when you get into the final things, you don't pay for registration anymore.
Really?
And then we have nothing to worry about.
Why would you?
I don't know.
Like if you're in a tournament, like you qualify for a tournament, why would you pay the?
I don't know how it
Yeah.
works.
I mean, for moot court, it doesn't work that way. If you qualify for nationals, you don't pay a registration fee because you got selected out of the feeder tournaments. So it doesn't make sense to make you pay for registration because no one else can register. And if you don't pay, they just don't go.
Right.
So then is it something that everyone is willing to just strike completely then?
I mean, generally, yeah, second semester, we didn't see anything coming in from competitions.
Do you want to leave the door
Not really
open?
saving us any money if we don't see it.
Do you want to rely on that?
Huh?
Do you want to rely on that for that? Is it usually
So why
consistent?
strike it? If we're not going to see anything.
I mean, in theory, we're not going to see anything.
Well, right. So that's right. He's saying so. Why strike
Yeah,
it?
exactly. That makes
But
sense, but
so you
So,
can either
we're
leave the door
fine.
open at 100%, or you say in case it comes, we're funding it.
Right.
At this.
in case it comes, 25%. Is
Mhm.
everyone okay with that?
Yeah.
Okay.
We vote on it.
Let's vote on this.
I don't know. I can imagine.
So you think
Maybe like
it's
25 and then other percentage?
One team,
50%?
25%.
Yeah, I was thinking 50, but I don't know what the rationale was for. Just because it's a lower like.
These are arbitrary.
Twenty what?
Not 24.
They're all arbitrary.
They're
Oh,
all-
they're all
Yeah, hotel was arbitrary. The travel was arbitrary. It's all arbitrary.
Life is arbitrary.
Yeah.
You just look at it as a quarter of the cost.
Yeah, I just swallowed an ice cube. That's fine.
Oh my god.
I wasn't
Been
thinking
there,
about
done
it.
that.
Okay, so everyone, back to another cam though. Since the don't open at 25%,
Swallowing the ice cube.
all means
For
for
Hi, guys.
competitions only. 25%,
One team.
one team, 25%. Is everyone alright with this? Can I get
We
a?
need to ask for a vote. I think you need to vote.
Yeah, alright. All those for approving this message?
Oh,
Hey Justin,
what time is it?
hello.
It's 60.
Are we gonna finish?
10 more minutes, my guy. Alright, still allowed to be here, but let's see. Yeah, we got kicked out of the other room, so.
Yeah, I heard.
Unfortunate. Sad playing pool.
Okay,
Indeed.
so all those in favor of 25%.
All those in favor of 25%, please raise your hands now. 4. All those against? 2 against. Okay. We implemented 25%.
Got that, Miss Jessica? You got it?
Okay. So we still need to cut another $60,000 or $40,000. What are we cutting, everyone?
Wait, where did that number come from?
to get to, so right now we're playing with 61, right? Plus another 20K brings us to 81-ish.
Where are you getting these numbers from, sir?
So 2018, 2019 we're all currently at $213,000 allocated, right? And that leaves us $61,380 for the second semester.
Okay.
Then we put in our $20,000 in rollback, brings us to 81.
But you have Model UN tonight.
And we have Model UN tonight, so it's actually worse than that, but you know.
Okay.
Yeah. But like, you know, best case scenario, 75K.
Yeah.
This is what we need to reach. And like, at least ballpark, you know, 10% or something. So, within that. 10 to 15% within that.
Of that allocated
Of that. Of like, of $75,000. We need to hit like, you know, upper, we bring it down to like 85, 90, like, you know, okay. There's some wiggle room there as like a generalized plan, but we can't leave it at 120,000 just walk and say like, oh, we did our cut and then we got it. Like, we have to do
Oh,
our
I see
cuts.
what you're saying. Of
Yeah.
the projected what's going to be coming in.
Yeah,
We
based
need
on
to
what
like
you
try
have.
and match it.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Next one on the chopping block, everyone. I would like to propose striking all charity events.
Yep.
Yep, events for the basis of raising money for charity. I don't think they should be funded by the student dollar.
Got two.
I mean, okay, who's okay with this? So we have 3 right now.
4.
Thank you.
3, who we 4? Oh, we
Yeah,
got
me, Carly, come on.
Okay.
Raise your hands high, everyone.
Vote on
I
it.
can see you.
Oh, no, we were voting. I thought we were.
No, I just want to see hands around
That's
right now. So 4,
Yeah.
4. Okay, Tanya, Zane.
Oh, I just, I guess just rationale, just not know the best use of the student dollar.
So
Like in
my,
general or just?
Yes.
in general, is like
In
for
general.
me it doesn't make so like the finance board doesn't
Daniel
fund
in general.
the finance board doesn't fund
Okay.
items for organizations to sell off, right? For raising money.
Mhm.
So why do we fund events for them to essentially sell to the public to raise money? It's like somewhat how, even though the event cost is 0, it still strikes me as odd that utilizing the student dollar to go do this. Like, yeah. But, like, I think for next semester, definitely we can. Like, you know, in general, like, you know, I think there's a bunch of wiggle room there. But for next semester, I don't think there's very much. So I'd like to strike charity events off.
How much would that cut off of our projected,
See, 11A.
what we think is going to come in?
He's doing it right.
Do it right now. Okay, let's see.
If that's a university, we didn't have to pay 11 fees. It would be rolling.
Why don't you?
Because they own us.
That brings us down $7,000. Okay. Next one on shot. Okay, so we're good to vote on this one. Strike all charity events in the spring semester. Yeah. All those 4, please raise your hands now. 6-4, 0 against. Next one. Limited funding organizations.
Period? Like,
In my mind, limited funding by the basis of the name, limited funding organization places them behind fully funded organizations in terms of priority. Yeah. In theory, limited funding organizations have additional ways outside of the finance board to acquire funds. And in fact, they sometimes mandate it to extract funds. Say?
I'm sorry, I just missed the first part.
Yeah. So limited funding organizations, by virtue of their name, are placed, in my opinion, are placed in lower priority compared to fully funded organizations.
So,
If we only have this much to play with, the money should go to fully funded organizations first.
and that would, so that would exclude, or count out,
It would count
stilettos,
out.
major death,
Yep.
all the Greek life, pretty
Yep.
much. A
All of
lot of
the-
the honor societies.
the performance orgs, or the, not performance, but the,
I can list it off for you.
like
Audition.
Yeah,
Yeah, yeah.
audition-based orgs.
So this is This is going to count out any honors groups, a lot of arts and performance groups. So any of like the a cappella groups are all audition based. fraternities and sororities, 2 religious groups, Hillel Student Organization and InterVarsity Christian, Lemonade for the Children, Rotaract, Club Sports, which we already knew, Kleptomaniacs, Talkapella, UMBC Rascals, United Christian Council, some service groups, AIM, Alpha Phi Omega, Circle K, UNICEF. Ooh. Yeah.
Honors College.
Yeah, Honors College, Honors groups.
Yeah, it's only honors student, community honors.
No, I mean, but I was surprised with the other service orders like Circle K and UNICEF.
And that's another conversation that we are having about what is restricted, what is the spirit around a student org being restricted funding? Is it like that they pay dues, or is it they pay dues to the club, and then that club has access to that money? Because I may have to pay dues to a national organization,
Right.
but I don't have access to that money.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I guess maybe that's a distinction you can make, if you want, because it's, for what I hear you saying, Daniel, is it's about like they have access to money.
Not always. It's just like
Right, not
basis
always.
of name,
Right.
You know? They are by name placed into a secondary status.
These groups are either limited funding because A, they're paying dues, or they have restriction on who can be a member,
So
or both.
I think, is there a differentiation between like maybe just allotting commons fees for open events?
Right now, that's the only thing that you all fund for limited funding anyway.
no, I mean they pay for
we
contracts.
pay for food and
That's
contracting.
fair. Okay, yeah, I misunderstood, sorry.
Yeah. So like, I would think limiting it to setup, because at that point they may not want to request the full amount anyway, because they may not feel that they can host the event. But I feel like if it's an open event to everybody, that might be a middle ground.
Reduce it to ECS fee only.
Yeah.
See how much it cuts. Let's take a look. See. Dog Collar Comedy. Only ECS fees stick in the roll. Okay. Honors Bowl.
To my understanding,
What
they
is
won't be
Honors Bowl?
requesting anyway.
Honors College holds a thing.
What is it?
Just a game essentially.
Should be in there.
Okay.
Yeah.
So,
Delta Theta Sigma, we cut off $700 of food there. This Maniacs, we maintain that.
so I guess when you're like going through that data, like we're using the justification that in their nature of being limited funding, and even though their event on campus may be open to all, so striking that balance between like an event that's adding to campus, yet it's
Right.
put on quite an ordinance.
Yeah, I think, and that's I think coming. I mean, I don't know. I think coming to what Daniel's going to say because he's clicking. But I think if you come to a middle ground on it, to say like Daniel said, your first priority is to fund or full fund organization.
That cuts 2,000 off. 1,800-ish actually. But
Because that's what they come in for.
What cuts?
right.
What
So, but actually, because CSA is in here, and Justin, I was supposed to call you actually. So I do apologize for wasting your time. However, the contract needs to first be negotiated by Prince Spears and Jen Dress. At the current moment, they haven't given us the go-ahead to even consider it. I do apologize. It's a mistake on my part. Unfortunately, you will have to be seen in the second semester. Yeah, I'm sorry for wasting your time. And I should have called you beforehand. However, things got to a rush, and we actually had to move those rooms. So
No, I understand.
Yeah.
I honestly don't have that much of a problem with it because it is at the end of February.
Okay.
So I can see that.
Thank you very much. I'm sorry. I really do feel bad about this.
I'm
Came out
supposed to be in
and
this
colleagues
building
waiting
anyway,
for stuff. Yeah. But thank you very much. That's the final final
Do you
time.
have
And if we absolutely struck them, it would be what?
Was to copy and enter everything on that same sheet. you shift yours to the right, and this would be the potential spent potentially values can be like bolded or something.
So we
and
always
change the
actually
numbers.
spend to their and we all have to.
Oh no, that's for this year. This is for this year.
So
We're still involved from the decoration has 100 hours so far. It is this is sushi. Alright, bye Justin, have a good night.
Quickest story we've ever seen. It's the quickest story we've ever seen.
So if we were to completely strike that, that brings it down another 5,000.
Strike what?
Limited funding organizations.
In total instead of just ECS fees.
With just ECS fees, it is at 11,000, 111,000. With that, 5,000. It brings it down to 106. Would.
I think you're gonna. I mean, Tori and I were. I think you're gonna get some pushback on limited funding orgs. So I need grace so you can like, if you were to say we don't fund them, and I know you're looking for cuts.
Yep.
That at all,
It's going against the guiding docs.
it's gonna be crazy. But if you say
ECS fees only.
ECS fees only, I think you'll be able to. You'll be able to defend them. That's my advice. You'll be able to defend them more.
So we stick with that. We are now at $111,000. What do we cut next, everyone?
I'm assuming you talk both.
You need to vote on that
What do we mean?
Oh,
Yeah.
We just raised
We need to
we
vote on it.
only offer funds for ECS fees
for limited
for
funding.
limited funding organizations.
For on campus.
For on-campus
events.
events.
Sounds like intuitive, yes.
All those for that option? 6-4, 0 against.
Wait, did you vote yes?
I don't think so.
I was confused still.
Okay.
Oh,
the,
so-
option, the vote, of course, is now for limited funding organizations. They will only be funding
Well, I think-
ECS fees on campus.
What
We
kind
need
of
to do a
events would
straw
that look
poll.
like?
Do we need to do a straw poll?
Versus funding ECS fees versus not funding at all.
I mean, not funding. You said we can't
Well,
do that.
Who said I can't?
You suggested.
Yeah,
I
you
mean, I-
suggested. It was
that's my
implied that
advice.
we can't.
No, I didn't say you can't.
Okay.
I say that there's a cost to that.
Okay.
PR.
Well, okay.
So it's up
Seeing
to
that. Option A is to completely struck. Now, option A is to fund ECS fees that are limited. ECS fees for limited funding organizations for events on campus only. And then option B is to completely strike limited funding organizations. All those for option A. 6-4. All those for option B.
I'm not for
Okay.
anything.
Wonderful.
She's an advisor. She's trying to give us advice.
I'm trying not to tell you. I don't want you to walk. Look, on my interview day, I said my job is to make sure you don't walk into a room and get punched in the face. I'm just trying to make sure you don't get punched in the face by limited funding.
I do apologize. Asian perspectives that came in last semester as well, so striking that off, that's another $1,000 saved. So, we are now at
Get
$110,000.
closer.
What was the vote? I'm sorry.
6-0.
No, well, yes.
ECS
on-
fees.
ECS fees
fund-
ECS fees only. ECS
Okay.
only.
I was like, I know an ECS fees, but was it for or no?
So this spreadsheet that you have up is every second semester event that came in last year, excluding the ones that we've already seen for this year.
Yep.
Okay.
Yep.
And the 11, whatever, thousands. What does that number represent?
$110,000 is
Taking
that's
into
taking
account.
into account of last year's numbers, essentially.
Well, taking into account the cuts you've already
Yeah.
made,
How much is that?
So we've
how
already
much would
cut,
have
I
been
think,
accurate
$12,000 so far,
Of how much would be requested?
based on last year?
based on last year,
So you-
which should actually be increasing by around 5% because of ECS
Right.
increases.
So you need to make up like $40,000,
Yep.
$50,000.
Yeah.
So, what are your big ticket items on the sheet, Daniel? Outside of ECS?
Could all mention food earlier.
ECS is $60,000.
I think that includes setup, AV, and
Yep.
security.
Contracts is $11,000.
Okay.
Food is 19, and decorations is a bit over 5, and then various equipment, whatever that means. I think it means like props and stuff like that. Even though we shouldn't be funding equipment, but that's the word I use. Actually, we label it to supplies.
Cut the equipment.
Supplies. There we go. So like supplies would include things for props for musical theater, and then supplies is represented 13,000.
Yeah.
Yep. So like the biggest ones in that one, of course, were the two theater organizations. Both received around a bit over 3,000 each.
How many theater organization requests were there?
I'm seeing
Under performance?
theater. I mean that sort of right there. I made them separate one.
If you control F.
Yeah. Playwright came in. Theater.
Because
Dog collar came in. Yeah, theater company came in. Yeah, that's about it. Oh, theater com came in first semester, but they didn't last time, but they didn't come in this year. That's only an $11,000 request.
I'll answer any of my
Oh, I
emails.
see what you're saying.
Yeah,
Do we know
Because-
who's signing for spring?
I
We
imagine
know-
they are.
Yes, we know. Also, I'm involved with MTC, but
Yeah.
they're all collaborating, and there's going to be one MTC musical theater club musical, one theater com musical, and one AF theater com musical. All late April. Yeah, late
Okay.
April, early May.
So I think we added another yellow organization packet to the equation.
So yeah, so I don't know how much any of those would cost. Probably several $1,000s for each.
Instead of just 3 for the others, so 3 each.
Yeah, I'm just trying to
3
figure out,
total.
like, how much. Yeah, so there would be 3 total.
So
For
9
an
total.
No, 3 total.
Oh, like
Each one is doing one show.
Yeah, that's what I'm
Oh,
saying.
how much
so
is
if they
each
were
show
each
gonna
like
cost?
3,000, then that's like 9,000 for.
Last year, musical theater clubs musical they requested about 11,000, but I think that was definitely on the highball end of it, and I don't expect that it to be as expensive for their spring musical. this
Totally,
year.
last year we allocated $35,000 to musicals, or not musicals, theater in general.
What can we do?
Again, the big ones were the 2 spring musicals for
A bit over 10,000, a third of its cost.
What was that return
That's how it's scheduled.
for?
They're
In
That is
terms
them,
of
though.
it's supposed to be until around 8:15.
Yeah, I mean, they can run, but they're not gonna do
Well,
it.
Where they're not scheduled until 8:15. You're free to come in.
You're
so.
yeah, you're done.
Free to say.
It's up to you.
Yeah.
I mean, if you're gonna be quiet, we're gonna have to.
Yeah, we're just discussing things right now.
You can hang out here.
Okay.
All right. See you later.
Yeah. So.
Yeah, you-
Yeah. For the change.
because
Yeah. Where's Steel Magnolias? That was the big one. $11,000 for Steel Magnolias. $11,000 for curtains. Right.
On a separate note, just in terms of like trying to get a more accurate measure, you can remove the retriever full ECS as well because it's going to be an honors college only event this year.
Okay.
Oh, really?
It's not me.
They're
I'm
requesting from
college.
SGA.
There we go. Bring us down to 110. I'll be $40 done. There we go. Okay, but seeing that, theater organizations. This is the total amount of theater organizations that came in last year. I apologize. This is very this is almost.
So Carly, what you're saying is that this would be only 3 events, right?
For the spring. So
Right.
How
yeah.
many events do you have left?
Here it looks like they had just look at all the ones that are 2018. So they had 5,
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6.
and the sum of those I guess.
No,
But
what's semester 2? You should
Steel
filter by 1 or
Magnolia.
2.
I don't know why this one's in semester 2. It shouldn't be. The request came in 12/12. Was the last meeting.
But it's a
But
second
it's more
semester event.
Yeah, it wasn't. But this is
But
my
it was
date
seated
introduced.
first.
Yeah. So in theory, this is what let's filter. Smallest to largest. $29,000.
And theoretically, okay, so dog collar comedy, that request is only about 1,000 for their spring events. Musical theater, I don't know. Let's say that they each request like between 5 to 7,000.
They request 15,000 and we cut them down to 11,000.
Hmm?
They request like 13, 14 and we cut them.
Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, I see what you're saying.
Yeah.
But like I'm
We allocate them 5 to 6,000 each. giving them a half 50% budget cut.
I mean, what were the most expensive events for?
Spring.
I think those were also prop heavy
Yeah.
things. Like,
Yeah.
I think the reason why TheaterCom and MTC last year were so expensive was because they had a lot of furniture and there were a lot of costumes in the show that MTC was doing. And we ended up not funding the furniture for TheaterCon. It was so expensive. And, like, there was just, like, a lot of stuff. Yeah, like, again, it's just not really possible.
Yeah, that's weird. That's one. Very well, let's include this one then. Hide it for this.
You just target yourself a little.
There we go. And then we increase this by one.
I think Tanya has something to add.
Sweet.
What?
Thanks for looking.
So,
I tried.
oh, it's okay. With Steel Magnolias, that's 121. So we're back where we started, everyone.
So.
Did we fund or allocate anything aside from ECS for dog collar? Because if they're limited, then
That's all they get.
okay.
I guess my question. What was the most expensive thing you funded last spring?
Food.
No, like event.
Oh.
Steel Magnolias.
For how much?
Oh, no, actually, curtains. $11,564.
What was the, I don't know what the difference between mean and median are, but you know, I want the middle number. Mean. What was the mean?
Where did my hair tie go?
$2,221. 2,211.
What was the other one? So,
Median?
yeah, the median.
The numbers aren't organized.
What?
They're not sorted from highest. Does it calculate that if I saw? I don't know.
It might.
Media. I don't think it does.
Excel's really smart.
I can get a force Excel. Excel's kind of dumb. Oh. 916 is definitely
It's
not
just
the median.
insult Candace's baby.
Well, then sort it by. I love you.
Dude, shit. Goddamn.
You're on the live stream.
Are we?
Yes.
Impeach me, please. Get your 500 signatures.
Oh my
So filter by second. Filter by two. Sort by
Mio.
whatever.
The
Donate
jar.
to the Mio Fund. The caffeinated
How
Mio.
How long do those last? I feel like, well, I mean, I guess it depends on how much you use it, but like for
Yeah.
you, how long do you think it would last?
I don't know. I've never used them before. It says it's supposed to have 18 servings.
$999.495.
That's if you don't go.
Tablespoon.
So, but the.
And I'm like,
What's
I don't
the
know how many
mode? What is that?
tablespoons of-
The most, there is no mode. None of
What
them have the
is,
same
I don't
thing.
know what that
The
means.
mode is the
Mode
one that
is
occurs
what
the most times in the
Oh,
range.
see, I'm asking.
Yeah.
I was,
Oh, I was like, what do you mean? How do you mode?
Yeah, what is the mode?
trying to teach Candace something.
She's asking to define mode,
So-
not what is the mode.
What is the mode? Yeah.
Really, $2,000 is
The
the.
average.
I maybe you take the average is that.
What are we
I
trying
don't
to
What's
get
the,
at right now?
I want to find like a middle ground for you. So like, what was the lowest? What was the highest? And where
The
were you
lowest
in the
one
middle?
was $33 to.
Is that the range?
That's
That
all
is
high
not
spring
the
minus lowest is the range.
No, I want like if you were to shoot a dart in the middle of your,
That's
That's a
median.
median.
and it's $2,000, but that's not.
No,
Well,
that's,
do you want
Right.
the median
that's
or
the
average?
average. The median was not.
I want the
The
median.
median is $999 and.
That's not right though. That's not
This
right.
is
No,
too
if you
much
have
math.
right.
If you have $11,000 request in there,
But that's
Yeah.
like bigger than the rest.
Median is just going like this. Down the
I
middle.
haven't
Well, I don't
taken
want that.
math.
She wants
It's
the
like an
Yeah.
average.
outlier.
all right. I want
The
like
mean.
Average?
sure mean.
The mean, which is the average.
But the average is going to be
20
off
but-
with like.
Equals
Right, but the
outliers.
outliers throw you off.
So
So
like
like,
11,000 is an
So
outlier.
you want the
so
mean without the outlier.
oh yeah, the
Which is the
11,000 is
median.
an outlier. Yeah,
No, it's
okay.
not.
So that
Is it
999
within the standard deviation, everyone? Let's
No,
calculate it right now. Let's see. I love stats.
I have a master's degree in
Standard
studying
deviation.
math.
Hate stats.
My brain hurts.
Take the
So
standard
ignore the
deviation.
11,000 range.
Okay,
The
we have a
rest of
standard
the
deviation value.
numbers are within that 999. They're close
We'll
to
take
it.
the standard deviation of
Yeah.
You actually calculate
2,965.
standard deviation?
So out from maybe you go out one standard deviation.
I'm
What's
zoning.
the
So, like-
average without the 11,000?
We're doing math.
Or
Tori,
two
come on.
I haven't
standard
taken math since high school because I
Right.
tested out of it in college, and this is
So-
what happens. you
That's
don't
like
do
your
it for.
freshman
I don't
year.
think
Both
we
of them,
are
we're getting
going
both
to.
of them.
Tori,
That median makes
The
sense.
outliers,
Colin, do you want to say?
For the
What
average.
number line?
Yeah.
What?
The mean.
do you know that?
Yeah.
I know a number.
I'm just trying to figure out like so there you have lots of possible ways to get to your number. You can say we're going to fund events ECS fees, and then plus a max of whatever, right? So if you take out ECS fees and you say, okay,
The average without the $22,000 is $2,071.
okay. So wait, so here's what I was trying to get at. But it's probably super convolutedly because math is not my thing.
Okay.
If you take out ECS fees, right,
Yeah.
and you look at what was funded for the organization, so you could say we will fund events, ECS fees, and the maximum of X in addition. And then they can decide how they want to use that money.
Right.
Right? If they're like, we want to use SGA's money for food, and you said you would fund the ECS fees plus $750,
Yeah.
we're going to request $750 instead. But like,
Yeah.
just trying to get like in ECS fees alone, where are you?
ECS fees. Well, ECS fees are increasing dramatically.
Well,
Why won't the revenue scroll up?
from 5%, right?
What was last year? Oh, I didn't read.
Yeah. Well,
Why can't I scroll up?
I did.
Oh,
I
why
heard
can't I go up?
drops bombs over there.
sometimes if you see
I
those,
think it's this,
Just
whatever.
saying that we give them ECS fees plus.
ECS fees by itself was
you're
$67,000.
already there. Yeah.
But then we have to figure out how much.
And how many events is it? How many roles are in there?
ECS 69. Well, I don't know for sure.
55.
Yeah, but we have to take out a couple things.
Oh, or down. Look at that.
You say ECS fees plus 5%.
Everybody, they're connected.
ECS fees plus $100.
50 events times 500.
Me too.
Or am I just completely off?
$27,000.
I don't know what's going
Plus
on.
60, plus, I don't know. I'm just trying to,
Zane has a comment.
What's up, Zane?
you gotta get somewhere.
So,
Hey.
so this may be no question as well, but besides like marketing and just like regular ECS fund, ECS fees.
Are you including
like
like?
fund?
Yeah.
Is there like any that are deemed like not necessary or like everything like? Because I'm like trying to think what
I'm
we
sure
fund,
that
but
they have some discretion on like, but like most of these groups are asking for like tables,
yeah, that's what
student
I mean,
workforce
yeah,
stuff,
so.
like it's tables, chairs.
Why do those things cost money anyway?
You have to rent them, and then they have to, like in case they get damaged, they have to be replaced.
And obviously,
so,
like-
that's where that money goes.
And obviously like security and ticketing and
Right,
like
like,
all that is in.
All of that is included, and you're already over $60,000 in ECS fees, plus 5%, right?
Yeah.
So maybe we should just move away.
So, but I'm just saying, like, as you keep going through all these categories and trying to nickel and dime it out, you're not going to get there. You would be here all night. So I think you need to say, what's your priority in funding? Obviously ECS fees, right? Because without ECS fees, students can't have events. And that's the biggest chunk of change overall for these things. And they're the non-negotiables, right?
Yep.
Food decoration contracts.
Food decoration and contracts, those are negotiable. You're not negotiating with ECS about security. You either have the security or you don't have your event.
Without some of those, so you don't have an event in the first place. Like if you have a stage with ECS and you don't have a contract, that's an empty stage.
You could find a free
student org.
performer, a student org to perform, someone who will come for a limited amount of money because they want, like, necessity is the mother of invention, right? Like, you need to make some tough decisions. We all know that if you don't fund ECS fees, like those are the non-negotiable things for students to have around, right? There are other things are negotiable. That's just a point I'm trying to highlight. You have to do that. You do whatever you want. I'm just saying. The non-negotiables are ECS.
We need to study it. No, finals are coming up. The bearing down on us. We don't need to study. So yeah, $67,000. Let's see, 2019. How much money have we spent in ECS fees so far? We have spent $53,000 in ECS fees. And then 2017, how much did we spend in ECS fees?
In the fall or the spring?
Well, I mean,
Total.
calculate that out for you. I love numbers.
I know you do.
commons fees.
But you're not, that's all of those are all those other numbers combined, correct?
Yeah, but this.
Okay.
It was already at that time $55,000.
So you spend more in the spring. So you spend more in the spring. So look to spend $65,000 in ECS fees. You already know, yeah, I think so.
Or that's over what we have right now, right?
So did I hear it right that we spent, for where we are right now, we spent more in ECS fees last year than where we are right now?
Yeah.
But by
What
like
we have left.
$2,000.
$2,000.
Drop in the bucket.
Drop in bucket. So.
So, y'all, what are we doing?
Just ECS.
Just ECS?
Well, how much are you thinking you want to allocate? Like you 75, 80?
Well,
Something like that.
coming in after tonight, so we have Monday Night Editions coming in. So everything goes well for them, right? They have $400 for the bus because that's how much Greyhound costs for 16 people. We give them $2,100 with registration, right? So what? Somebody gets $2,500.
How much was the grade?
It was,
$800.
well, no.
It was
it's
2
2,000.
point something.
We didn't
Yeah,
actually
well-
go over prep for tonight,
Yeah, we did.
did we?
We did
No.
No,
They-
we didn't.
No, we did not.
We did not.
Not in this meeting.
So yeah, okay, let's just.
We should do that.
We can do that now.
Well, so what Daniel's saying is that while he could not speak during Model United Nations, he agreed with your point
Scott.
last week, Scott,
Yeah.
that bus was excessive. And that if they were to buy Greyhound bus tickets, it would be $800 round trip.
Okay.
That's what he was saying.
Can we
Let me translate.
So can we like reopen that
Like,
discussion? Is that an option?
Absolutely.
Okay.
We can reconsider anything.
Let's give like $400 there.
Right.
Facilities use.
So should we do some meeting prep though? Seeing as they're coming in 10 minutes,
Sure. Okay.
8 minutes.
Alright guys, we'll do some meeting prep. Model Un's coming in again, guys. We haven't actually.
Right now. So she's like,
Oh,
I was
the
like, oh, you can come in like 5 minutes or now.
Yeah.
7:20.
Yeah. So, quickly going through Model United Nations. We told them, I told him late through email you need to get proof of refund. Kylie hasn't got anything. I haven't got anything. Is it unable to provide proof of refund? I advise you guys to strike. We've given them enough opportunity. Then we go to delegate fees. Since this is the first semester, unless you guys want to implement it now, but we didn't do it last week, so I don't know why you do it now. Then we issue $21.60 for that. Travel costs. Well, I don't think we should give them an entire bus. It seems very excessive for 16 people to be in a bus with 56 people in it. That can fit 56 people. Yeah. So I'd say Candace made a calculation. It was like $8 or $48.
Well, yeah, it's $46 per person.
Yeah. Yeah. So 23 times 16 is what?
No, it's
3
46.
times.
What? 40
You get
round
50%.
trip. Oh yeah, 20.
Yeah.
You get-
We do math here.
Yes.
Not really.
3 times 16 is $368.
$368. Okay. Facilities use fee? Do we pay for facilities use fee? That's very.
It's
That's
part of their registration.
Yeah.
No,
that is
that's
part of housing.
no, it's part of
It's
housing.
not part of health. It's the part of the. Hold on. From my understanding, it was within the actual conference area
No.
because.
No, it's because if you choose not to live in the hotel, they make you pay that, so that's part of housing.
Okay.
Yeah.
So if they would have won the
Okay.
hotel option.
If they went with the hotel, yeah.
Okay.
Which they can't
I
anymore because
misunderstood
it's
that then. Okay.
But they also that's what my confusion was because I didn't I would assume it's still true, but I didn't know if that housing cost plus the use is still lower than the admin price. I assume it is because it said it was saving us money.
I assume, yeah, but like whatever. I mean,
But also
I'm not
that
gonna
is
question
also close to like not math major here, but like a little over 9,000 I'm guessing. So I don't know. I just don't
it.
know.
From my previous knowledge,
how much-
like our hotels cost similar to that amount, to be honest.
So
But,
yeah.
like, you know,
So I really don't know how much cheaper it is.
I mean, it's $3,000. I think it was like maybe $2,000 cheaper. So,
Okay.
but then again, I brought what was it 24 people on that trip, so I'm not sure. So yeah, I think if you were guys an issue for facilities usage, issue it half again, because I don't think this is a registration fee. This is you choose not to live at the hotel, so it's part of the housing.
We just asked
Yeah.
it again.
Yeah, in my opinion. Yeah.
Let's go for it.
And then registration for something. Did they clarify what the registration was for?
I think that's for the team.
That's a team registration.
That's a team registration?
I'm just for the
Yeah.
team shadow.
Oh, it's not.
Huh?
I'm pretty sure it's not.
That's all you need to ask them.
Documentation?
You think it's for the
delegate fees
advisor?
is individual.
Delegate fees for the individual. No, I think they. From my recollection of my operation of Modern United Nations, to register for next year's conference, you have to pay a fee of around $200.
What is it? What conference are they going to?
New York. Indeed. So I don't know. Just like I'm a bit suspicious. I used to run that club, so I'm like, really interesting $200 because I'm pretty sure we didn't pay for initial registration fee. But I think you have to look at that one.
We also don't have, and correct me if I'm wrong, but I don't see documentation for any of the registration fees anyway,
Really?
unless someone.
It's right there.
It's that sheet on the bottom, attached to the bottom of the allocation
Yeah.
request.
Okay. Thank you.
Registration free, non-refundable. Per school over registration.
No. So it's $200 worth of registration. Okay. All right then. I misremembered. And then is this their?
Let's say what it's for then.
Yeah, it doesn't say so.
Yeah. I mean, this isn't proof of refund, is it?
We don't have.
I don't see anything like that. Yeah, so I think that's something I'm going to be abstaining again, guys. So you guys will need to hit on that one. I think. I don't think you should just take the word of the organization. Yeah, we got a refund, guys. Don't worry about it. Seems a bit laissez-faire for me. So.
You all
Yeah.
have a precedent. Remember your precedent.
Hello, UN.
My entire life.
Really?
I still swim.
Wow.
I'm doing trying to found a club swim team.
Oh, you're in that group too, the unofficial swim club. I'm in that group too.
Oh, sorry. Tangent. My bad.
Tanya, take over.
That's on the wait list.
Hi, everyone. Alright. Do we need another round of introductions? Are we doing that?
I mean,
Yeah.
we did this last week.
Right.
It doesn't matter to me. It's.
I think I know you. Are you gonna cry?
Oh
Are you here?
I'm here as a head delegate of Model United Nations.
Yes, he's
team.
part of our
Going to New York.
teamwork.
Cool.
Yeah.
You weren't here. You're an SGA. Oh, you're here. So we're just gonna do the hi. My name's Tanya. I'm vice chair. She, her pronouns. Okay.
Be deaf.
I think we're good.
Introductions.
Sorry.
Are you gonna go?
No.
Like now.
You're on
Oh, hi. I'm Brenda. I'm a vice president. I share pronouns. What else?
That's
I'm
it.
voting.
Cool. I don't vote.
Hi, I'm Zane. I'm the vice president for student organizations. He pronouns.
Scott BK, Finance Board Representative. Yeah.
Hi, I'm co-associate SGA treasurer. She, her pronouns.
Tori Heasley, coordinator for student organizations, finance board advisor.
Candice Martinez Down, assistant director for leadership and governance. I also serve as the SGA advisor. She, her pronouns.
Hello, my name is Daniel White. I currently serve the chair of the finance board. In this current request, I'll be issuing an abstention as I have filled out a form expressing interest in attending conference.
Sorry. My name is Joshua Gray, first year ambassador. I don't know.
My name's Lilianne. I'm the Model UN president. I'm being voted on. He, her pronouns.
Hi.
I'm sorry, I messed that up. She, her pronouns. I'm really tired.
I was going to give you deference there, but I was like, well, okay. I'm gonna.
It's been a week, y'all.
Hi, I'm Patrick. I am the head delegate of Model United Nations team. I will be going to the New York conference.
Jessica John, finance board secretary. She, her pronouns.
Canal Finance Board Representative, pronunciation, and voting.
Alan, is she president?
Okay, hi, welcome back. So last week we had tabled regarding the fact that there was already some payment put down for Airbnb. My understanding is that there was communication with the treasurer requesting for proof of the cancellation or reimbursement from that. Has that been?
I didn't get anything. I know I got the text from him saying he canceled, but I did not get any proof that it's canceled.
I also did not request for that in an email following up with them. They sent me the updated budget, or they confirmed that the budget request was correct, and in the email for it, Layton said he had canceled it, but he didn't. Like, I didn't ask for him to send proof of confirmation. I think Daniel said that.
I sent an email to him asking for it. So yeah, and I have not heard anything back.
Can you pull up the email?
On that note, I think there was also just like a couple of other clarification questions while Daniel's looking for that. The can't escape the request while you're on there. Okay, 1 second. I'm sorry. I have things in front of me. I can look at those. Just a question for the facility use fee. Clarification wise, can you elaborate on that a little bit?
So this is for using their conference rooms, like they provide water and snacks for all the delegates, like conference services, like lost and found, that kind of stuff. Like just for using the hotel since we're not staying in it. That's what the conference use, hotel use fee is.
And so if you were to go with if you were to book through like the hotel, do you pay that fee?
That's within the that would be within the hotel. Oh wait,
Okay.
no, it's like separate because you're staying in the hotel. It would be because like the faculty advisor is staying in the hotel, and she has a hotel use or facility use fee of like $11 because she's staying at the hotel.
Okay, so even if you were to book through the hotel, it's still a fee per person.
Mhm.
So on that note, the other, I'm sorry, my vertigo just what was the other question?
Other questions
Sorry.
I have? Oh, about the busing. Yeah. So they, just to clarify, the bus rental would be renting a charter bus for yourselves to drive or
Be driven.
be driven.
I think it would be driven. That's what Greyhound bus. We don't have to drive that, right?
No, like no, it's. I mean, it's like the last. Like you take a bus and it's like you're on there with a lot of other people.
No,
You don't
no, we're
have to-
chartering the buses.
You're chartering the Greyhound bus for that.
Yeah.
But, never mind.
It's not like a nasty bus.
Last year we had a situation that a lot of the females had to deal with some very uncomfortable situations on the bus. We decided.
And it
to-
smelled like pee. But that's another story.
So
Oh, it also broke down.
we're sharing it in Wilmington for like an hour and a half. So I guess
That's exciting. So that's why we're chartering our own bus.
Yeah.
We want to train
But there's only 16 participants going.
18, including faculty advisor and husband.
Okay. So, were there other sizing options, or was it just like the only one size available?
Just the one size available.
Okay. Sorry.
Discussion. So this.
Yeah.
I
Okay.
don't know if you wanted
As I brought up last week, I feel that 16 people for a 56-person bus is a bit excessive. I would prefer to change their request for bus tickets rather than chartering their own bus.
So, sorry, discussion point. I'm sorry, my brain is like frying right now. Okay, Daniel, you were looking for something earlier. Was there?
Oh yeah, sure, yes.
Oh yeah, he sent it.
One last thing, public life, with a confirmation of refund of some sort, email, etc.
1 day.
11 a.m.
Okay. Are there any other clarification questions regarding any parts of the request at this point? Okay.
Clarification questions
For the organization.
I have a
Can you bring up the most up-to-date budget then?
caps.
This one?
Yes.
Next one, this is updated in lowercase.
Yes.
Okay, so if there's no other questions, we can go ahead and move into discussion, finance board members only.
Afterward.
Yeah, and then afterward, we'll readdress you if you have any other questions, comments, concerns, all those things. I'm going to start with Scott since he had a discussion point regarding the bus. If he just repeat that and then go into that.
Model United Nations like the charter of 56-person bus for 16 students. I feel that's excessive, and I think that moving to buy bus tickets to New York would save money. I also, for the housing situation, I think we have to wait for verification before moving forward on that too.
I think in terms of the transportation, before looking into tickets or smart buses, but asking them if that's something they want to do first.
What was that one more time? Sorry.
Just asking them if that's acceptable, like if they would like to pursue that option to receive like SGA tickets.
Candace? Versus what?
I mean, I
Versus
guess in
not
versus not
receiving
taking
funding
money for, yeah.
for
I mean,
travel?
it just depends on like.
I think, right. I would say that for y'all, you need to discuss what is reasonable and what are you willing to fund.
So to kind of elaborate on that, sorry Zane, I'm looking at you, I just can't see you. The bus ticket option. So if that's something that a pricing that you're utilizing, so like Scott said, bus tickets, so like let's say tickets, I'm just gonna throw out an arbitrary number, come out to like $400. We would put $400 towards travel based on this. Based on that's what tickets would cost. If they want to put it towards the bus, they want to put it towards the bus. If they want to put it towards tickets, they want to put it towards tickets.
Right.
Not limiting and changing what they put it towards. Just this is an amount that we deem acceptable.
I'm gonna make a comment. I feel that's a much more efficient use of the conversation and voting from this point forward. So go ahead.
Just to better explain myself, last week I calculated that the bus is 177 per person. You could take a train for 118, and I think Candace said you could take a bus for 86.
You can take a bus for 42.
Round trip.
Round trip.
Oh.
36,
So,
46 really.
Yeah, no, I looked it up. It's like 40. It's $42 round trip. On Greyhound.com.
For travel costs,
Can we?
Have we talked about have we talked about housing yet?
Not yet.
That's what, I want to get to that one. I'm kind of clear with travel.
Okay.
I know where we're at. I agree with that.
Okay. So, on that point, I just want to open a straw poll to either, since it seems that the current regard is that it's just a excessive amount, to either strike that or to open to the funding option that Tori presented with allocating a certain amount and then letting them choose how they use it. Okay, so is that clear?
So what's option A?
So option A would just be striking, and then option B is allocating amount how, and they can use it how they see fit. So votes for option A. Strike, which would be striking the bus in its entirety. And then option B, funding the amount that see fit based on current travel precedent. Okay, cool. So that amount would be I personally think that the finding the per ticket cost for round trip and then following our precedent with that with 50% would be the most feasible way to go. Is there any other thoughts?
Is there a set amount for each ticket? Like how much each? That's 42, right?
Yeah. So, well, I mean, you could do
42 times.
You could do 20. Like you could. It depends on when they want to go, but you know, the most expensive economy ticket for the 24th is $29, and the most expensive economy ticket for the 27th, is that when it's done?
I think the 28th is the last day.
No, but your hotel was only booked till the 27th.
Oh.
So that's the date I was using. It's $16. I'm sorry. So that comes out to, just thinking about its life, It comes out to 45 plus fees. What's 32 divided by 32 divided by 4? So it's like $4 in fees. So it's 49.
Two-way.
Round trip. $49 round trip on Graham.
16 students, right?
Yes.
I got 7 equals 49 times
784.
60.
So that's total.
49 times 16, and then the half for precedent would be 392.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Okay. So gonna change that. Hey Daniel, since you're at the computer.
What you did?
Well, I don't know if you want to change what they've asked for. They're asking for that number.
I was just saying right on the side.
Okay.
Just as a note. Yeah.
All right.
Okay. Okay, and then Canol submitted a comment for the housing credit?
I mean, clarification of refund, correct?
Correct.
So, as we said last week, I think it'll open a door that we don't want to open in terms of refund is allowing other organizations to be like, okay, I paid for this, and I'm asking for this much left. So, you know what I'm saying? Like, I'm in favor of just striking.
Can I ask you a question?
Yeah.
Lillian, would you be able to contact your treasurer right now and see if you can provide verification?
I'm currently texting him and he's not responding.
He's calling now.
Okay, I'm gonna call him.
FaceTime me.
He has an Android.
Sure.
What did she say?
I'm doing it faster now. Okay. So, on that note, while she's making the call question, what's the registration for $200 going towards it?
The registration for the conference, like registering for the conference.
Okay.
Yeah. That's what it's
So we can keep that.
Yeah.
So
What do
let's
you
move.
see? Somebody else?
Oh, the delegate fees?
That's registration.
Registration fee, please.
It's a team registration.
So. Okay. So there's no discussion on that?
No, that's
Okay.
precedent.
Great.
200 to 216.
That's fine.
Alright.
What was facilities?
As I understood it, it was a fee that's charged to use the facility because you're not staying there. It's all, but if you were staying in there, it'd be rolled up into your hotel cost. So I guess the discussion is, do you look at that differently than housing? Or do you consider it housing, a part of housing?
The way
Because that would determine how you fund it.
I personally don't consider it as housing.
So that's for you
It's
to
just
discuss.
use, and they're not staying there. Maybe it's, I don't mind funding.
Oh, so, point of clarification. The facility use fee is $100 per person for people not staying at the conference hotel.
Oh, so it would be 16.
So it'd be $1,600 because it's 16 students.
Is that including the advisor? Or do we
No, because they're staying at the hotel.
So you have 16 students going or 18 students?
16 students, and then the 18 is the faculty advisor.
Okay. So then that number would have to be 1,600, not 1,800.
Yes.
Yeah.
Any other conversation points on the facility use fee?
So, can you, what was the second part that you said it is not
So if you stay at the hotel, you pay $11
Per person.
fee per person for people staying at the conference hotel. You pay $11
Oh, okay, and then $100 for not.
for $100 for not. Yeah. So.
And for clarification, the request is still for the same location for Airbnb?
Yeah, I believe that when Leighton contacted Lillian, it was that he had contacted the Airbnb person and told them to give refund the thing, but then to please put a hold on it so that it wouldn't be booked then immediately, as soon as we we withdraw our deposit, that it wouldn't be put back on the market to then sell. So the hope is to still stay there if we can. But
And Ryan, have you been able to contact him yet? No. Okay. Scott.
So based on Candace's explanation of the facility use fee, it seems kind of like being penalized for not living at the hotel. So I would consider that a housing cost and suggest funding of 50%.
Lillian explained that the facility use fee was not because you're not living at the hotel. Like, yes, it's not wrapped into the cost of staying at the hotel, but it's for being at the conference using water.
Yeah, well, I mean,
But
if you don't stay at the
but
hotel,
that-
if you stay at the hotel, you don't get charged.
It's
You
basically
get charged
like
$11.
Yeah, but like, because you're there for the conference and like using that fee and you're not, like, yes, I see that point, but it's for like part of the conference and stuff, so I don't see it as like part of housing.
Would you fund differently then?
Yeah, I would fund it.
Is any thoughts?
Yeah, I'm kind of like seeing it. Probably explained it better because it is like it. Because although you're not like staying with the hotel, it is like a higher cost because of it, or wrapped in a hotel. It's like part of like the conference. Like you really can't get to the conference. They don't think you can't participate. You don't pay that. So they're not gonna let you use the facility. So I think it's like necessary for that. Getting there to the conference.
But it's basically like an added registration fee because it would be wrapped up in housing if you stay there. So that's why I consider it part of housing.
I see that point, but it was also like cross charge. This was like a cheaper option. Again, I don't know how much validity. And talking about that, I don't know the like, comparison, but it was said it was a cheaper option too. So I still think that's technically not a housing fee because it's needed for the conference versus the.
Do you want to just do a straw poll?
Sure.
I think you can also call me, or somebody said for the facility.
So yeah, so if you, it's not, I don't view that as housing. They're using it just for, like, it's not like they're staying there or anything like that. So I'm willing to consider it separate from housing. Do you think we should do straw poll?
I mean,
Where are we at right now?
you, Carly, and Zane are in agreement, so I don't see a point in a straw poll. But we can do
And
one.
that would
Huh?
the line item.
What?
That would like finalize the funding percentage.
One more time.
That would finalize the funding percentage.
For,
By doing a strong poll,
Yeah.
say yes for
Okay. Okay, cool, sure, we'll do that. For the facility use, saying yes, okay, fine. So, facility use fee, option A, treating as housing, option B, treating separately from housing at full value. Okay, this for option A,
regarding facility fees as part of housing.
yes, regarding facility fees as part of housing, and treating it with 50% resident. Okay, 1. Option B, seeing as separate from housing.
Just kidding.
4. Okay, 4. Thank you. Okay. Cool.
So, Daniel, do you mind?
Thank you. Okay. Now we're just at the concept of moving forward without yet hearing back from the link for the cancellation fee.
So we give, how are we gonna do this? Since we have no confirmation, so are we all like in agreement, like if there is no confirmation, do we,
Do we?
do we strike it? Like we have no confirmation of like refund or anything like that, or?
Because I think it's like right now the point is the board is at like, are we comfortable with
refunding something without the proof of the refund. But Carly mentioned that she like initially didn't ask, so I'm not sure how you felt about it. If it was. Oh, can you respond?
We're gonna leave a message.
No, I'm leaving a message.
Just in case.
Okay.
So, what was the question one more time?
Sorry.
Do you want to office board member? Because he's
Moving
Hey,
forward
Leighton,
regarding not having the.
We're in finance board right now, and they need confirmation that you canceled. So if you do not respond to me within the next like 15 minutes, the student org advisor is in here, and I will ask her about impeachment. So thanks. Bye.
I'm obliged to it too. I love it. I love it.
You refer to your constitutions.
I just need a little.
We'll kick out of it.
Okay.
Okay, so the question was
my public meltdown.
the question was regarding like moving forward without having that confirmation.
I didn't know it would be like necessary to like see the documentation of like the cancellation.
Why wouldn't it be?
I don't know. I just didn't think to ask, honestly.
Yeah, well, regardless,
Daniel asked.
Daniel did ask.
That's fine.
Like Kamal said, we have to vote on the documentation we have in front of us, so we did not receive updated documentation. I think we should strike it.
Candace.
If you want to be graceful,
We can table it.
you can give him 15 minutes. And then
So, like, 8:05?
8:05.
I think
8:07 if you want to be specific.
8:07.
Do
If you
we
wanna
got
be
the seconds in there?
8:07 and 37.
To say, give Lillian some time to pester and see what he can produce.
Is he a commuter or is he?
That's complicated. He
It's probably out of country.
is probably out of the country.
Okay.
He does that a lot, I'm noticing. Okay.
He does. Like when we met,
Text the man.
So
That
that's what
first
I would
like
say.
15-minute grace period. So
What if we,
If she calls.
like agree if we do get it 50%, if we don't, strike, and then move to general consent at the end of the meeting?
I think. So until the end of the meeting.
Sure.
okay, so everyone seems
feeling
agrees
nice.
with that. Do I have to vote on that?
Feel nice.
To amend the agenda.
Okay.
We're just going back to.
I mean,
We're still seeing them now, but we would just make a
Yeah.
decision later in the meeting.
Yeah.
So we have to.
okay, cool. So we're gonna give. What was the time we said? 8:05.
8:07.
8:07.
Well, didn't you
Wait.
say till the end of the
Yeah.
meeting?
So,
Work.
No, so give them to that
After
time,
one
but
call.
we'll be behind schedule at that point, so general consent at the end.
Or we just
Right.
want
Oh, okay. Okay.
So to keep on schedule.
So you want to? Yeah, got it. I got you. I got you. I got you. I got you.
just seeing at the end of the meeting an option. Yes.
What?
So it's just seeing at the end of the meeting an option for the final vote.
That's. I mean. Yeah.
Okay, so it seems like everyone was okay with. So you said 8:07?
8:07.
Okay, so we're gonna resume other business and whatnot.
I'm really sorry about this, guys. He was supposed to be here, and he actually convinced me that he would be here, but like usual, like missing. So
Okay, sorry.
yeah.
So just for context for the future, because I believe you did use an Airbnb in the fall. No. Okay. Just in the future, assuming things stay as they are right now, whenever the finance board is looking at Airbnbs, it's kind of the same with hotels. There should not be any like deposit down, confirmation, anything like that. It's just a general quote. So like you're going on the website, taking a screenshot of
Okay.
whatever it is, which is kind of the same thing that they do when they look at hotel rooms. So there should never be any money put down on anything, hotel, anything.
Okay.
Just a price quote, not a confirmation of this is what we owe. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Okay. So just so that's understood moving forward.
Okay. Go contact your treasurer.
I'm gonna step out.
Good. So we're a little behind.
I'm really sorry about that, guys. I don't want to get you all
Can you find me back recently?
Yeah.
Was outside. Hey,
Can
Scott.
I leave this here?
I'm a bit low on space.
Yes.
I would say you can, off the table, but if you want to move your backpack and
Yeah,
stuff
you
here,
can move
like,
up
that's
here.
fine.
You know, it's perfectly fine.
Yeah.
Thanks.
Don't worry, I'll keep it safe. So, Max Mason, what does this man look like?
We have South Asian Student Association.
Do it?
Yeah, 7:45.
Oh, whoopsies. Can someone find me South Asian Student Association? Can you check out some of them? Thank you. I was looking at one of you.
Look at me.
No, it's everyone.
So,
What's the love, Jesus?
no, this is about me. I feel what I can take for like headache relief.
I don't have
I
time
don't
for
know.
that.
What did I say?
don't.
You are allergic to
I'm
ibuprofen.
allergic to ibuprofen. Like, what's in that?
And also, you apparently swelled up when you took an NSAID, like a leaf. So you can, yeah.
Daniel, what do you have in your
I
mailbox?
saw it.
So,
He has something you cannot have.
yeah, you can take Tylenol. You can take Tylenol.
I may have something for you.
You're welcome.
We should bring that
Okay, let's do a little bit of meal prep before South Asian Association gets here.
Hello.
Yeah, my apologies.
We heard something.
My apologies. No, I thought Max was supposed to come because I was a little behind schedule. Oh, yeah.
It's not an inside. You're
Are they here? Maybe I'm right.
Welcome.
Hello.
Oh, yeah, you can find it.
Oh no.
Hello. Sorry.
Well, we moved this chair over here.
Yeah, two.
Why are there two chairs over there?
It's extra here.
Yeah, Daniel,
Over the corner.
you want me to do the
Alright, yeah, behind you, Josh.
Oh, you're Steve.
I
Oh, grab chairs.
Can you move this one over?
Can you do that thing?
How many do we have?
Thanks, Jake. No. Oh, we're taking another chair?
We can take more. There's more people. One more? We're good. Thank you.
Sorry for the.
Sorry, Zane, that was redundant.
It's okay.
Daniel, you're going back to your new picture.
Okay. My phone's already gone, so.
Sorry.
Hey, give me the gavel.
You want your name put it?
You know what? Yeah, just throw it to me.
I'm not okay with
Yeah.
things. You can
Just
literally
knock me
roll
out.
straight for it.
Welcome to Finance Board, everyone. We got kicked out of the other room, so here we are.
Resiliency.
Resiliency. So thank you very much for coming out tonight. We're going to do a brief round of introductions first. I can start off. My name is Daniel White. I'm the current chair of the Finance Board. I use the pronouns and I'm the voting member.
My name is Daniel. I'm the freshman representative of SASA.
My name is Rishma. I'm public relations.
My name's Sarah. I'm social chair. I'm Jolene. I'm event coordinator. I'm Aisha. I'm co-president.
I'm Jazz Carter. I'm Daniel. And I'm vice president of SASA.
I'm Jessica John, finance board secretary. I use she, her pronouns.
Now, finance board representative, pronouns he, him, and a voting member.
My name is Tanya Ramsey. I'm vice chair for finance board. She, her pronouns. I'm a voting member.
I'm Brenda. I'm the executive vice president. I use she, her pronouns, and I'm not a voting member.
Hi, I'm Zane. I'm the vice president of student organizations. Use pronouns.
Scott Buchanan, finance board representative. I'm a voting member. He, him.
Hi, I'm Polly Socha, SGA treasurer. She, her pronouns, and voting member.
I'm Tori Hasley. I'm coordinator for student organizations. I serve as an advisor here. She, her pronouns.
Candace Martinez Doan, assistant director for leadership and governance. I serve as the SGA advisor. She, her pronouns.
Hello, my name is Joshua Gray, first year ambassador. He, him pronouns. I'm not voting member.
So, you were supposed to receive a list of questions, but I just realized my work blocks emails going out of my Gmail.
Oh.
So when I went, I was like, why did this not send? It never did send. So, I was wondering why, because I did BCC everyone. I'm like, where the hell did this thing go?
Live stream.
Yeah.
That's not it.
It's not that bad. I've had the list. So you should receive the list. I'm never going to send emails from my work anymore, but we do apologize about that one. So we're just going to ask you guys some generalized questions about your organization and your event. The most general, of course, one is, what's your event?
So it is SASA Banquet, which is something we hold every year, and it's one of our biggest events throughout the year, and it showcases the diversity of the South Asian culture, and it allows students to mingle and find new friends, and there's always traditional attire that all of our students wear. They eat South Asian food and then show off their dance moves that are specific to their culture. In the past years, SASA Banquet has always been a huge hit. Tickets always sell out within a few hours. And it's just for all students of all backgrounds for a fun night of dancing, mingling, and food.
And I can keep going off
You can
these
just-
generalized questions.
Yeah.
All right. Tanya, go ahead.
Sorry. So can you just give like a rundown of the event, like the timeline of it?
Yeah, so we're going to be coming in at 12 to start setting up the executive board. And then at 4:30, the DJ is going to come and tech is going to set up. 5:30, doors open. 5:30 to 6:30, there's going to be mingling. 6:30, the program's going to start. And then 7:30 is our board introduction video. 8 is dinner. And then 9, the program continues and there's dancing, mingling. And then the program ends at 11:50.
Questions for the organization, everyone? We do this all the time.
Can you expand a bit on your decoration choices?
Yeah, so for decorations, our theme is Great Gatsby. And so a lot of the decorations we had kind of have to do with what was in the movie and stuff like that. And so we tried to choose things that weren't as expensive, and along with that, we also have decorations that we're doing ourselves or things that we're buying ourselves just to try and decrease those costs.
Scott?
Do you guys have a Mind Your PC event for your event?
So my co-president and I are admins, but we still don't have access to the page, so we can't make the
How did you go about choosing the DJ?
So basically, before times we used to have a DJ. He was like an older gentleman, but this time around, this time and last time we chose a DJ based on age representation. We felt like a DJ around our age group, and that is also professional would be better suited for like the, I'll say a purpose of the event, because like you want kids to like dance to like better music and more cultural music. So this DJ, he's South Asian. He came last year as well, and we got great reviews from people last year. You know, I think we did have a higher attendance than years before when we had the previous DJ. Nothing bad about the previous DJ, but I feel like a younger and more hip DJ would be a better choice for us.
Awesome. Everyone good? That's all we want to know? No? Anything?
Do you have questions, Daniel?
I do. No.
You can ask one of them.
Just how'd you get to the number of attendance? 300, 350.
So, I got it. So for every year, since I've been on board, we've been tracking attendance from Joel. We check ticket attendance, how many people got tickets. Usually it's sold out, so like the max amount of tickets sold out.
Right.
But sometimes people don't come, and around that. So last year, I think estimate was like 283,
right,
plus our board members. So around that, we're basically like keeping the same population.
Okay. Additional question.
Who's your food vendor?
Okay.
Basically like same thing every year, most efficient and like easiest to work with around UMBC.
Okay. Any additional questions, everyone? If not, we can move to we're going to move into peer discussion. During discussion is limited to finance board members only. After discussion ends, we'll open it back up to you guys before we start. So, yeah. All right, everyone. Let's go down this list. ECS fees. I don't think we'll have an issue with that one, will we? Nope. Indeed. DJ, $650. I think this is the highest DJ request we've seen.
Really?
Yeah. They're generally coming in at 300, aren't they?
Also 1 for 700.
I don't think there was 1 for 700. Was there?
kind
I
of
thought
DJ.
this was on the-
I thought it was around this range, like 550.
No, this is
I
on
think it was
the higher.
combined, like
I mean,
DJ and photographer. I don't think it was DJ by himself for 700.
Oh, recently we started at 5.
Chris, any ideas?
I have no idea.
what's the point of this? Like, I'm totally fine with spending this.
I'd like to keep it in line with what everyone else is receiving for their DJs as well. Like 400-ish, you know.
I don't know, I feel just what I saw just saw like a DJ recently and it was like relatively like
It was pricier, but like the average, most organization comes in with $300 DJ generally. Generally.
Really?
Yeah, $300 for DJ and or photographer.
Carly,
Yeah.
do you have access to the contract Google form that
Yes.
Fred has?
Should that one have
I mean,
it?
maybe you're right.
I
I just
see like the response to that.
thought that was
Yeah, that may be a better indicator.
Right, I might be just misremembering, so. But we can definitely just, once Carly, you bring that up. I can
So I'm
maybe-
looking at contracts
Yep.
of that all seniors have submitted for events this year. Looking at let's see how I can organize this. Because everything's green and I try to find
You want help?
everything that is green. So for HLSU DJ was $400 that was also $400 for that DJ.
That's what's got.
Can I ask a question to the organization?
Sure.
How long will the DJ be playing for?
it's in the contract.
Basically the whole time of the event.
Yeah, so in this contract, Jason does from 5:30 to 11 p.m.
And if I can say one more thing, he's coming from Richmond, Virginia.
Right. But let's move on to decorations while Carly's doing this. Carly, do you mind? Or okay, we'll move on to decorations as that's the other one. Let us convene the equipment committee. So Carly, we're going to drag you away from this one again. The equipment committee is convening. Right, falling in line with what we did with CSA, tablecloths will need to be either table if we need to be table to try.
Well, those aren't plastic,
Reusable.
but they're plastic.
Reusable.
I know it says that.
Okay.
I think that there's there's a difference between
Polyester plastic.
fabric
Yeah.
tablecloth and plastic tablecloth.
Sure.
I mean, I can reuse a dollar store tablecloth,
Right. Okay.
But they're crusty.
but right. I think the real questions on here are like
Tablecloths.
those are. I think the
Plastic or
tablecloth is not good.
Plastic. Everything's plastic.
Yeah, I think it's these fabric drapes and glass bottles.
Glass bottles.
I know it's so picky. I know.
Indeed. I'm willing to agree.
To fund it or
Drag it.
counting as
Yeah, these are.
as equipment.
I think it's push.
Carly, what do you think? So it's the glass bottles
The backdrop.
and then the two backdrops. Which, may I ask a question to the organization?
Okay.
Were you using were you using those backdrops for like photo booths or something? Yeah, okay. And what was your plan afterwards?
Oh, usually we used to have a bin here, but usually we give it to whoever who's representing the board next year, and we get to reuse it.
Yeah. So the equipment committee is a group of people, 3 of us here, and then 1 other person who's not here. That means that whenever a request comes in or reviews requests that come in that have things that are reusable, for lack of a better word, right? Because by purchasing it with SGA money, you're actually purchasing it with state money. And there has to be some sort of tracking mechanism, or like who has it, where did it go, so that it doesn't walk off, right? Or get lost. Like, and SGA doesn't have the capacity to track and tag all of that stuff. So because it can't track it, it doesn't buy it. And so you have a committee that meets to say, do we consider this equipment or not? So that's the discussion we were having, to give some context. I'd say it's equipment.
For
the yeah, I mean, I'd feel different if it. I mean, I don't know.
So the reason why we're like this is because the equipment committee the block that governs us, like the piece, like, you know, our guiding documents, is the vaguest thing.
It's so vague.
Yeah, it gives, you can interpret it in many different ways, and like, so previous organizations can have received funding for like backdrops and tablecloths and stuff like that. But then in re-review, we're like, wait, technically speak, like, you know, we reinterpreted again, like what the guiding document said, like, now that's considered useful again. And oftentimes we hear organizations say, oh yeah, this is reusable, et cetera, et cetera. So at that point, we made the decision. We recognize there were mistakes in the past, however, we're going to continue. Yeah. And right now, again, we're going to try and figure out how we're going to like apply the guiding documents again.
Sure. Yeah, I mean, feels super reusable. As do the bottles.
Yeah, the bottles I could see. Because I would like to do all of these as expendable items. But
we'll make your case.
Well, because I think backdrops, like, especially if, well, in this case, they're kind of like general backdrops, but they're used specifically for this theme, so they'll be expended kind of like in the use of this event in particular. What happens to it afterwards? The other big thing about the equipment committee and how SGA has spent things, we spend things and allocate money for things that are expended in one use because of this equipment policy. Mm-hmm. So it really depends on like however you're looking at it is like, oh, we're using this money for this backdrop and it's expended. Whatever happens to it afterwards, like we did, it was used for its purpose, and now whatever it's expended for is kind of not. Sorry. And I know that's like turning a blind eye to
generally, I invite you guys to come in, but we're running a bit behind schedule right now, and to be honest,
we're a little packed.
If you want to just wait outside, that's
fine. If you want to wait outside and have a seat, we're going to try and wrap this up as quickly as possible. Yeah, sorry about that, guys.
Yeah, I mean, I could go either way in it. Yes, to be perfectly honest. So if I'm going to go either way, I'd say.
So the equipment committee would say that it's not. Right? We can't fund it.
I would say we should fund it.
Yeah, he's saying don't fund it. She's saying fund it.
She is a tie-breaking vote.
I am tie-breaking. I don't vote very much. So it's, I'd say fund it.
All right, then. All three?
Yeah.
Okay. So now finally back to the contract. Any other discussion about that one? Charlie? Anything to figure out? Is this like?
If you need another moment, I can answer the question.
Okay, Tanya.
Hi. So I'm noticing in here there's like these ostrich feather things and beads. Can you like just talk about the use of those?
Oh, so we're gonna use those decorations because like it's Gatsby themed. So like in all the movies, and even in Great Gatsby, they use like the feathers as in like that time. So we're trying to use like incorporate as much of like the theme as we can. And so with the bottles, we're gonna spray paint them and have the feathers coming out of it with the V-string for centerpieces.
Okay.
Yeah.
I can see it now.
Other additional questions?
One right here.
Okay. Yes.
And I didn't catch your name, huh?
Jolene.
Jolene. And maybe you can answer. So, because you talked, so where are you planning on spray painting these bottles?
Oh, like outside, not like at school, like and probably at home or something. Yeah.
That's a good answer. That's the right answer, right?
Okay. Additional questions? If not, we're going to move into a period of discussion. During discussion, conversation is limited to finance board members only. We're going to open it back up to you guys at the very end. It's a point of clarification period. So if you have any questions, comments, concerns, or anything you would like to address, that's your time to do so. Right. Conversation, everyone. ECS fees, we're fine all the way down through that. DJ, Carly.
So, what I've looked at for some of the big DJ events that have happened this semester so far, they've been around $250, $400. Most expensive one we did fund though was $750 for Yalda, which was a couple days ago.
Yeah. Okay.
and we need to find out.
I mean, I just like, I know usually it's in the letter, but I just remember seeing like
Yes.
a higher.
Right. Okay.
It works.
So we're fine with keeping it that kind of price?
Yeah, I mean, I think that,
Food is within our current precedents as well, right? Okay. So we get to vote on the total of $7,271.02. We're gonna have $37K for the next semester at this rate.
Spend this money.
In the future, I would like to see dollar store decorations, just for the fact that we have money. Or
All
not,
right.
we don't have money.
Are we ready to
That's another
vote?
thing. Yeah.
Okay, but I'm gonna open up back to you guys. Do you have any questions for us? Nope. All right.
I have a comment. I do want to say that for the amount of money that you're spending on food, you are getting a ton of food, and I think that's very effective use of the student dollars. The sodas are a quarter. They are a quarter. Yes. You get 400 sodas for $100. I don't know what you buy sodas for, but I don't buy them for a quarter. And the menu, I mean, like, it looks like you're getting a ton of food, so I think you found a good vendor for this, and I applaud you for that. So. Daniel's like, maybe I want to go.
No, sorry guys, poking holes right now.
Oh, it's
yeah.
why.
If you guys look at the quote right now, it says 350 quantity at $8.30 per unit price.
Yeah, but that's not what your precedent is.
Yeah, it is not. But the idea behind the precedent is that not to spend money on non-UBC students for food, though.
If you look at
but it's not. Yeah.
What does that say?
350 people at an $8.30 unit price per one. Generalized speaking, it's just like, of course, it'd be a penalization to the student organization. The reason why we allow essentially, okay, $10 a head, we set it at, in my opinion at least, is because oftentimes when you order food and stuff like that, you order by in mass quantities essentially. There isn't a per unit price for your various levels of dishes or anything like that. If every single organization could do that for us, that'd be fantastic. And we'd only fund the food for UMBC students generally, right? So, but however, in this one, if you look at the quote, it says 350 quantity at $8.30. That implicitly issues $50 worth of, or 50 units worth of food to non-UMBC students. Generally, the Finance Board has held to the principle that we do not issue funds to non-UMBC students or non-UMBC people. Yeah.
Like this is micromanaging the organization.
It is utilization of the funds, my guy.
Do you want to fund 310 sodas out of the 400?
Issue like no, it's just like for that specific one though, it's explicitly stated though. For the sodas, you know, once again, because it's in bulk, we can't make a determination again. It's just like, okay, so we'll issue what we can get a reasonable amount for UBC students to consume. In this one, though, it's explicitly stated 50 units will be going to non-UBC people. I think if I had 50, 300, or is it 310 or 300?
310 on the allocation request,
310 on the
300 on the event planning part.
Okay. So.
I would argue that you're penalizing an organization for giving you more information than other organizations.
Yeah.
And that, I think.
But should the Finance Board not utilize information when
we use
get
the
information?
money?
What do you mean?
But like,
because they didn't have to tell us they paid 2,000.
No,
Yes, they did.
It's just like.
I mean, but you can do math, right? Like, you all do math all the time on this.
What's the mean?
What's the most? You do math all the time, right? Like, if someone said we're buying, I guess it's about like.
It's not on the amount. The amount's perfectly fine.
Yeah,
it's the should the dollar be going to these people?
Yeah.
When it's explicitly stated out that it doesn't.
I understand what you're saying.
Yeah.
What's your
Other
solution?
requests, have there not been like quantities of the foods presented?
It was, but it was never stated as a per unit one though. It was per like.
Well, then it would be. Well, I guess it. Yeah. Well, then, but you did math, then, right? You've done math, right? I think your argument is. I think everyone agrees with what you're saying. It's just that you don't need to say what you're saying. They're asking for 350 servings of food, and they're not having 350 students come. Right. So they're having 300. What's 310? Let's say 310. So
multiply
I think what you've done
Yeah.
before is say, okay, the total for the 350 is X, and you do the math. You've done that. So I don't know. You need to be making this argument. I think you can just be saying they're asking for food for 350, but we're only going to fund them for 310. That's okay. I mean, that you've done that.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know if you need to make the argument.
So now the question is, do we utilize a $10 head then, or do we utilize the $8 or whatever it is per unit price?
So
yeah, because the $10 a head was a compromise.
Yeah, I think you do. I think you use a $10 a head.
Okay.
And even so, breaking down like the 3,000 divided by 310 is still less than $10 a head. It's like 9.77.
It's just, for me, it was just like, okay, we issue them $100 together because we can't tell, of course. Yeah. And then also because it's a per unit price of $8.30, which I imagine is per person. Well, it's like 350 people in attendance, $8.30 per. That's the quantity is $350, so that makes it seem like it's per person. Scott?
So using a 310 ratio would be 2,668.5 for
310 times $8.30.
Yeah, for 310 quantity.
Yeah, I don't know. Okay, I see what you're saying.
Yeah.
But
Plus the sodas.
Yeah, plus the soda.
Yeah.
We'll issue. It's fine.
So it's 30. It's $3,000 total
Yeah, $3,000 total
for 310 people.
for 350 people.
350. So all they're getting all the food already and sodas
Yeah.
for $3,000.
Okay. I
Yeah.
misunderstood what you were
Want to
saying.
do a straw poll as to whether, regardless, as like it's under the $10 per head, funded at or funded at the 830 unit price per person. Do you want to do a straw
I
poll
mean,
on
yeah,
that?
we can definitely do that.
Yep.
Option A is to fund at 10. Option B is to fund at 830. All those for option A. 3. All those are option B. 3. Sorry guys, we're in a bit of indecisiveness at the current moment. You're gonna have to bear with us as we work through this one.
No, it's fine. I just can I say one thing? We did negotiate with the vendor originally because since we've been dealing with him for so long, I think maybe in my past 3 years I've been on board. Even before that, we've been dealing with him, and he always gives us the best price. Starting out, he was giving us a little less, and then we're okay, we're students. Can you give us more? And he even brought down the price. He's like, oh, you're students, you're like my kids.
Yeah.
Basically, he brought down the price for us. I totally understand on your guys' part, what you guys are paying for this, so you get to pay it and decide. But I'm just letting you guys know, we did negotiate for this price.
It's just, is this a response? For me, the question is it a responsible utilization of the student dollar to spend money when the board knows? Essentially, this is an explicit acknowledgement because 350 units is for 350 people, I imagine, correct?
For what?
So you see on your post, it's 350, right? I imagine it's because there's 350 people in attendance. Yeah, and so I'm gonna expand my thinking. The finance board, generally speaking, we don't like funding things for non-UBC students, right? Because they don't pay for things here. So essentially the money that we utilize is paid for by UBC students. So the current issue that I'm having with this at the current moment is okay, I'm perfectly happy funding at 310 at the $8.30 and keeping the sentence as well. That's perfectly fine with me. However, there's other 40 people, it's explicitly stated in this quote that $8.30, those meals would not be going to UBC students, essentially. That's how it's working out in my head at the current moment.
Yep.
And I think the board is currently split on its interpretation of how we're going to be applying our principles. Because in previous organizations, unfortunately, based on the way, you guys are subject because of the way your quote's being formulated. But in previous organizations, the most recent one would be CSA, I believe, right? They ordered food in, just trays essentially. And at that point, okay, so we can't make a determination about how much food is the non-UMBC person going to consume and how much food is the UMBC person going to consume. So at that point, we're okay, $10 a head is a reasonable amount for however many UMBC people are going to be in attendance. That's a max amount that we're willing to fund that.
Yeah.
So, and this one scenario is different, of course, and now the board is going to be debating this matter. Yeah. So.
Compromise. So I guess we're split on the 830. Yeah,
830 or $10 a head. Yeah. Well, sorry, 830 plus the soda money.
Right.
Yeah. Yeah. So I explained my rationale is because this is the board we have knowledge that this food would be going to non-UMBC students, and I don't think we should be endorsing that. And the other one, it's just like, again, with the, remember for Bethel, I believe it was, in the other scenarios, they're just plausible, you know, like, okay, the board can't make a determination like that, okay, you know, there's some cover for us. But in this one, for me, it's just like, it's right there. Yeah, and for me, I can't vote to pass this. Yeah. Calculator. So it would be what? 310 times 8.30 plus 100 would give them $2,673. And in addition, remember, question for you guys: are you collecting ticket sales from outside UMBC people? Yeah. So I think that, in my opinion, to issue them the $2,673, and then in addition to the ticket sales money that they would theoretically collect from these additional 40 people, which would be, I imagine, $10 a head, correct?
Yes.
$400 additional dollars would be enough to cover up that expense.
It's $8 plus like a fee.
$8 plus a fee.
It's 6 plus the fee.
6 plus a fee, so what? Which is 240-ish. 240-ish. Brings them slightly under. Yeah. So, I mean, that's really how I'd like to go through this. And the Finance Board, I think, is offering significant amounts of support already in its complete funding of ECS, as well as its contract and as well as its decoration. I think we're fully doing what's required of us, and I'd like to move in the lower food amount plus the $100 for cinema. Scott?
What was the updated decoration cost?
It remained the same. No modifications to it. So yeah. Can we have another straw poll?
Yep.
Option A is to maintain at $10 a head. Option B is to reduce down to $8.30 plus $100. All this for option A. Please raise your hand now. One. Okay. You raising your hand for the straw poll? All this for option B. Okay. 6-4 0 against. So we're gonna reduce down the funding to $2,900.
No, the ticket sales.
Minus 240. My apologies, I can't do that.
2673.
2673, which will be your new total for food. And we can definitely get you a new overall total as well.
Oh, do you need the budget?
Yeah.
Attached separately to that? I can do that.
That'd be great. And we can just, what is that? 3,000 minus.
Get 237, I think.
Why can't I do this? 3,000. Was it 26?
73.
One second, sorry. 3,000. What is going on? 3,000 minus 2673, correct? Okay, bringing us to a reduction of $327. So 7271.02 minus $327 is $6,944.02 as a new total. Is the Finance Board prepared to move forward?
Yep.
Okay. But before we do, we're going to open that back to you guys for clarification. Do you guys understand the reasoning?
Yeah.
But if you have any additional questions, feel free to ask now. Okay. Seeing that, I think the board is comfortable to vote as well. Oh, I forgot to put this one in. What's this one called again? It's banquet, right?
Yep.
Banquet. Okay, there we go. So FPL 81, 18, 19. Is there a motion on the floor?
Move to approve FPL 81, 18, 19.
Okay.
Second.
All right, all those who are approving FBL 81, 18, 19 for the amount of $6,944.02, please raise your hands now. 6-4, 0 against. All right, thank you very much for coming in. Carly or Zane, do you want to give them a form?
Oh, yes.
On the way up? Thank you very much for coming in.
There if you want to be
If you see retriever poets or anyone out there,
Don't you give them a
I'll do it.
I just gave it.
So.
You just gave it back.
Oh,
I'm sorry. You're fine. It's a hot mess today.
Oh, not you. Sorry.
Not you.
Not you. Retreat post is coming in shortly, everyone.
Just like to remind everyone that we are very far behind.
Oh, Max.
This is our confirmation. Yes.
Now?
Yes.
Did you retrieve your post first?
No.
Okay. Alright, you gotta tell them I lied. Whoa, whoa, whoa. I lied. We have other things to do first.
No, they can come in. We have chairs.
When you can come in.
Daniel, I'd like to reiterate we are super far behind schedule right now to not talk in circles.
Yeah.
Daniel, I'll ask you for introductions now.
Okay, everyone. Hey, so you're me apparently, but hello, Max. Welcome to Finance Board. Alright, so Max is a round of introductions only for voting members, please. So, voting members, introduce yourselves.
Tanya, Vice Chair, Sheeker.
Yeah. Okay.
Buchanan, Finance Board Representative.
Carlos Sosa, Chief Treasurer, Sheeker.
I'm Zane. I'm the Vice President for Student Organizations.
And I am Daniel Ray. Thank you very much. I'm the chair, and I'll be going as well. Thank you very much for coming in. Would you like to give a brief introduction about yourself and why you're seeking this position?
Yeah, sure. My name is Maximilian Mason. I'm a sophomore physics major here. I'm an RA at Harper Hall. I am a research assistant with atmospheric physics. And I want to join the SGA election board because I wanted to become more involved on campus. I get a lot of satisfaction and fulfillment from becoming involved with different organizations and other people. And I thought that SGA election board was a good way to become more involved on campus and get other people more involved.
Okay. Alright, questions for Max? I think the big three, do you mind if I just act like the big three? Sure. So you said you're an RA, how will you be managed? How much time do you think you'll have available for election board this semester?
I think I'll have plenty of time. Being an RA is definitely a time commitment, but it's a flexible one, in that I'm able to maneuver around my different programs or one-on-ones with people. I can kind of schedule that around my other responsibilities.
Second question, of course, is what type of change are you looking to implement on the election board?
I definitely want to look into getting more people involved with the elections, voting and people running.
What type of strength do you believe you bring to the election board?
I think first and foremost, I'd be able to help with networking for bringing people in for elections, especially through my connections with RisLife. I'm friends with RAs all over campus in every community, and we could orchestrate different kinds of programs or flyers to encourage people to come out and make their voices heard.
All right. I think those are generally the big three questions we asked, Tanya.
How do you plan to remain unbiased throughout the election?
Well, during RA training, you're really taught about how to mediate different conflicts, and throughout those mediations, you're taught how to be an unbiased person. So I think through my RA experience, I'd be able to remain unbiased throughout any sort of conflict or election.
Okay. Scott and Kunal, do you have any brief things about Max, your nominating committee?
Those were mostly what was talked about in nominating committee in Senate last night.
Did you run into any trouble in Senate or any big questions that Senate asked you think we should be knowing about?
For the time commitment, Lillian reiterated that the RA commitment would not interfere with the election board since she was an RA.
Okay.
Other members of Senate also confirmed that Max has very good time management skills.
Okay. That sounds good. Are we comfortable to move forward with discussion? Not a vote yet, guys. Alright. So, are there any additional questions? If not, we're going to move to a period of discussion. Discussion with the Finance Board members only. Alright. As Scott and Carly had just said, Max seems perfectly capable of fulfilling duty as an election board member. We are a bit behind schedule. I think after 2 series of vetting, I think we can move forward with Max.
I mean, I would just say that, yeah, he had really well thought out answers. He's very qualified for this. So I think he did a great person.
All right.
Help the
One question. How did he pass through Senate? Do you know?
it should be recorded. Is it recorded?
It might not be. I don't know if they actually actively added it.
We knew what we're supposed to do in SGA.
Alright, seeing that, is there motion on the floor?
Jail 11, 18.
Second.
All those for approving jail 11, 18, 19, please raise your hands now. 6, 4, 0 against, 0 abstaining. Someone give me a binder with the oath on it.
Is there one over here that has
So, Max, come here. We gotta give you an oath.
Yeah,
This is
recorded.
Hey, welcome to SGA, my guy. It's gonna be a great time. You're gonna love it.
Welcome to our lovely organization.
Dude, so much fun. Where is this?
Is this the first person to be confirmed in this office? Ooh, that's special.
Writing legislation. This is so much stuff we'll never use.
It's in there. It's in there.
It should be the first page.
Because we're not working
Is
off
it the first
legislation
page?
right now.
Should be.
Okay,
One
there
of
we go.
the.
Ready? Raise your right hand. You want a picture?
You're getting them anyway. It's okay.
Oh, so now you're gonna go.
Yes,
Okay, so everybody say, state your name. State your name. Okay. I state your name.
Maxman Mason,
Do solemnly affirm
do solemnly affirm
that I will faithfully execute
that I will faithfully execute
the office of election board member
the office of election board member
of the UMBC Student Government Association
of the UMBC Student Government Association
and will,
and will,
to the best of my ability,
to the best of my ability,
promote and defend
promote and
the
defend
interests and well-being
the interests and well-being
of UMBC's undergraduate students.
UMBC's undergraduate students.
Congratulations. What can we do?
Yay!
Here you go.
Max,
Did
talk to you real quick.
JL 10 pass?
Yes.
No,
We
not
haven't
yet.
done it yet.
Tonight?
No, so we have to do JL 12, which just amends.
Yeah, I was gonna say, but did you do 10?
Oh yeah, they did tell me.
Okay, so now just past 12.
Alright,
So I'm gonna
everyone.
send you.
So JL 12, from my understanding, is this is the concrete amount of members for election boards, and we need to amend the legislation to establish their stipends properly. I don't think there's any issues with this. Are there any questions?
This doesn't include jets.
What?
There's a pot for all the members that is equally split up based on however many election board members there are. So this is just like the
Yeah.
burning.
Do we need to change the sponsors? Okay.
You don't want to
Did the
sponsor?
election not happen?
The election happens at the end of last night's.
Ah, okay, there you go. I thought I heard at the beginning. So, okay, we're good. Yeah. All right. Is there a motion on the floor?
Wait, so do we have to change it to away from William?
No, we don't. No, it's fine. Cool. Somebody, yeah. I was just saying, my understanding.
Second.
All right. All those for approving JL 12, 18, 19, raise your hands now.
Thank you, everyone.
We're 5, 4, 0 against, then
What time you went to the bed?
one
One
absent. Okay, there we go. That's done. Retriever poets.
I'll go get them.
I gave them snacks, so they should be okay.
Oh, good. I was wondering, I was like, should we offer them?
I did already. Don't worry.
Welcome.
What is that? What is that? What is the yawns? Yoins?
What are you talking about?
It's a brand.
Yoins?
Excuse me? What is that? How do you spell that?
Yeah, why is she? Maybe it's from the That's just pretty stunned, to be honest. I don't know. She uses my Amazon account because they don't want to pay.
I'm telling you, there's so
But I don't think.
Like, I love
Yeah,
it.
but I have to.
They have it so much. The Retriever Poets request.
And
They
previous
like
episodes.
attached everything else. I'm like, oh, it's so much scrolling. But it is great.
Yes.
We're not paying them for doing what they're supposed to do.
Still no response from the treasurer of Model UN and their retreat posts are coming in.
Great.
I mean, their model UN is past their timeline.
Well,
I suggested to the end of the meeting.
yeah.
Somebody
I
else
thought it was
suggested 15 minutes, but I thought we agreed on 15.
Yeah.
I think.
Hello,
I didn't.
Sorry. I like I baited you like twice. You're coming in, but like, no, I can't. But I do apologize about that one.
This is cool. And this is
Yes, it is.
organization.
30 times an hour.
Sorry about that one, guys.
It was like 26 something.
Was the camera? Oh yeah, it was. It was like
It's in the park one last time. Okay, everyone, let's get this rolling. Retriever Poets is now in the room. We're going to do a brief round of introductions since we'd like to speed it up. We'll only be introducing voting members, all right, as well as the organization itself. So, would you like to begin?
Alex, I'm the treasurer of Retriever Poets.
Loan Tiwa, editor of Retriever Poets.
Cut off Finance Board Representative, or non-PDM member.
Oh, I'm Zane. I'm the Vice President of Student Organization. He can start now.
Scott Buchanan, Finance Board Representative, he, him, I'm a voting member.
I'm Carly, Student Treasurer, she prefer voting member.
Hello, my name is Daniel Way. I'm the current chair of the Finance Board. I use him pronouns, and I'm a voting member. Tanya Ramsey is currently in the bathroom, I believe. She's also a voting member. And Zane is also a voting member. Yeah. So.
I want to play anything.
Yeah.
Go on.
So, we generally, you guys were supposed to receive a list of questions. However, due to a mistake on my end and a firewall at the work, it was never sent out. So we're going to just be asking you these questions instead. We do apologize about. We generally like to give you guys a little bit of heads up about what.
Are they the same questions as the?
Basically, yeah. So, can you tell us a little bit about what you guys are requesting for?
So we are the Retriever Poets. Every year, so once a year, we go to a national poetry slam invitational called CUBSI, hosted by ACUI. I don't know what they stand for. But we have it in a different university each year. Last semester, so this year was in Temple University in Philadelphia, and next semester, it's going to be in University of Houston from April 10th to April 13th.
All right. Additional questions for the organization?
You have Airbnb and the hotel listed. You didn't
Yes.
put anything down for either of those?
Airbnb, on the budget,
No, you didn't make a deposit or holding or anything. You haven't paid for anything.
Oh no, we haven't paid for anything at all. No, we have no money.
All right.
We thank you.
Okay.
How are participants chosen?
Participants chosen. We had a CUBSI slam that we had at the Finance Board not too long ago, and from there we have poets from all over the school, not just in our club, compete. We have a panel of 5 random judges picked from the audience, and they pick the 5 poets and 1 alternate to go to CUBSI.
Okay. How is we already hit on the CUBSI, how they advertised for that one, right? So I don't think we need to go back because last time we funded the slam, I believe, correct?
Yes.
So additional questions for the organization?
I'm curious as to why is there both the Airbnb and the hotel? Is that like an alternate?
Yeah. The hotel is the alternate. The Airbnb was cheaper. The hotel was is it Marriott's? The Marriott Hotel. It's at a special rate for people who are attending CUBSI, $159 per night, I believe.
Okay, so on the allocation request form, it says there are 9 UMBC students expected to attend. On the flight, it says travel for 10 people. One advisor.
Yes. So it's the members plus the coach, and then 1 alternate, and then 3. So members plus coach, that's 5 competing poets plus coach, which is 6, and then 1 alternate, which is 7, and then 3 non-competing poets, which is 10.
Finance Board has a precedent of not funding travel for advisors, so we would fund that 9 people.
Okay.
Just a heads up.
And the registration has another area.
Other question. Hi, I walked in late. Sorry. Did you attend CUBSI last year?
Yes.
How did that go?
It was cool.
Like competing wise or the experience?
Both.
Competing wise, we got out of 64 colleges we were in.
50 something.
I believe it was 51. We were the 51st place. Granted, that was our first
It was
time.
our first ever cup, so we didn't know what we were walking into, and people were like.
Do you feel more prepared this year?
Definitely, we know how they run, how it's voted, how the stuff that tends to get the crowd more on their side, how just basically how a better chance to really compete. Since we're not necessarily a slam club, there's for poetry, but we do participate in slam. So that was our first legit slam. So now we know what to expect and how to prepare.
Alex and I had the honor of being able to judge a few bouts at the Cup C, so we're given advice to the new club, and we have between now and March to
Because you were playing 51 out of how many?
60.
64. I don't know. Yeah, we didn't make it past half.
Or that's not bad.
Oh, you tried. That was good.
Additional questions for the org? Did they hit on the alternate or the non-competing members?
Yeah.
Okay. Alright, sounds good. So we're going to go to a period of discussion. During discussion, conversations with the finance board members only. After discussion is over, we'll open it back up to you for questions, comments, and concerns. All right, everyone. Questions? Discussion, everyone. Scott.
So I met with this org beforehand and reviewed this request with them. I think the only thing we need to change is removing the coach from registration and travel.
Okay.
And then the hotel looks cheaper, so I guess we would use that one. I don't know how you guys feel about the meal plan.
I don't think we should be establishing that one. Yeah. So additional thoughts?
Yeah, I agree with all of you, but what was the talk on Airbnb and hotel, which is 2 prices they gave us?
Yeah, they gave us options.
Sorry, I was conversing with Candace though. This is following up. Did they talk about the coach in the hotel as well?
I'm not sure.
Okay, so I'm going to ask that. You answer that?
Yes. The coach is included in the hotel cost?
Yes.
We need to strike that off. One more room.
Yes, we have documentation.
I imagine the Airbnb is for the entire group though?
Yes.
So we're not going to use the Airbnb option, as we cannot make a deviation that will be divided by 8 and that. I mean, I guess we could, but which one would we like to use, everyone? Hotel makes it easy when you strike an entire hotel room off.
Yeah.
For Airbnb makes it a bit less clean. I guess we could divide by 8 and then take an 8th off, but the hotel one's a bit more clean, I think. Right? Okay, so we're good to do with that. We strike one room off of that. And then for flights, we'll be initiating the Google Flights paid search. Right? Yeah. Okay, everyone.
Just have to count.
Which is cheaper. It's $12.60 for the Airbnb. Really? Listed on the budget.
What day?
April 9th is on the documentation that you attached through the 14th.
April 9th for when?
14th.
Okay, there we go. So, what time do you want to leave?
The most
It is 6 a.m. to 8 a.m. I think.
If we have one right there, 6 a.m. to 8:04 a.m.
You got one stop somewhere.
That's not stop.
No, I'm talking about the 8 a.m.
The 8 a.m. one? Yeah.
Which one do you think?
This is like what is convenient and feasible for you all.
Yeah, do you like waking up before 6?
Because that's all.
Like,
wait, oh, this is for the budget.
yeah, so like, what time you can be ready to be on it?
Oh, but that's.
I don't mind that. Me personally, I'm fine with the assist. I'm more
Oh.
It's not. I was looking at that too. I was like,
My bad.
We like it, the cheaper it is.
They're both the same price.
Well, when do you have to be there?
The next day.
The next day, they like to like check in for the hotel because the next day starts very early.
Like, do that.
This one?
Yeah.
Has one stop though.
It has a stop.
Yeah.
I don't think that. I mean, it doesn't look like. Let me see it again.
It's
Yeah,
5 p.m. It's essentially the same time, right?
How does it have one stop?
Oh wait, no, it doesn't.
It's not stop.
You're right.
Yeah,
Okay.
no,
So 264 times 7 divided by 2, everyone?
Stop it.
Yeah.
What?
So, new total. So is your coach also including flight costs?
Is the coach included in flight costs? Yes, usually.
Yeah, okay, so how many people are going in total?
9 students.
9 students? Okay, that's right. Okay, everyone, where's my calculator? What am I doing? Where is just the thing? $3. There we go. Fine. Do it open. That'd be lovely. Give it a second, everyone. There we go. So, Cup C. Expense, that's fine, right? And then for the non-computers, 260, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, Airbnb. What is the new total? Sorry. So the hotel is. How much is the hotel like per room cost? Do you have that anywhere or?
We have a link. That link doesn't work. I could redirect you to the Cup C site that has a link to the hotel.
Yeah, it's what's it called? Yeah, can you give me the link for that?
Just Google ACUI Cup C.
ACUI Cup C. Yeah, this one?
Yes. And then scroll down, you're gonna see travel somewhere.
Where are you staying, at the Hilton or Embassy Suites?
Scroll down for travel. Right there, and where it says 159.9, use this link.
Okay, so 159 then. Right, 159 times. How many people per room?
How many people per room?
Did you tell me?
I've not.
Or how many rooms do you need essentially?
I think they only gave us like 2 rooms. Max.
Okay, so 2 rooms.
Yes.
Okay. Right.
It's going to be
Yeah,
one
what we're doing.
right?
There we
2
go.
rooms at half.
Okay, so equals 2. About times 0.5, which is 1 essentially. Okay. Times 159. How many nights?
It's gonna be. We get there on the 9, and then 6 days. 6. Yeah, we leave on
5 nights then?
Yeah, 5 nights.
Five
Yes.
nights. 795 is no issue for that. And then
She's saying this is the wrong budget.
Is
Should be
it?
on the other budget. One that says updated, not this one. Sorry.
this one?
I just changed the name of the other one. No, not that one either. That's not a real budget.
Is it this? This one?
No, the
Don't worry, I got you.
Sorry.
Don't worry, we'll get there. Give a little bit. Okay, there we go. So, okay, so back to that calculation. It was 1 times 159 times 5, right?
Times 9?
Times 5, right?
Why times 5?
5 nights.
5 nights.
Oh, 5
Yeah.
nights.
Yeah. Okay, and then for that, so it's 9 people, right?
Yes.
9 times 264 divided by 2.
Is 264 the round trip?
Yeah.
Okay. That's not bad for Houston. I just can tell you that.
And then what's this last one for?
Oh, that was just for the note, man.
Oh, meal plan. I'd like to strike that.
Okay.
This is 1.
Yeah,
You know, it's
we're in
not
favor of striking it.
generally, yeah. Is there a straw poll? I'd like to strike this. Option A is to strike the food. Option B is to keep the food. All for option A, please raise your hand now.
Is striking the food?
Yeah, for striking the food.
I have to remember how to score.
All right. 6-4-0 against. We strike the food. So we have a new total of 2,000. Why is it all the way up there? Oh, no, okay. $2,868. And where is legislation tracker? Whoopsies.
Okay. I have a question.
Yeah.
Did you explain to the org how like your precedents?
Right.
I did in there.
Okay. Can I pose a question to Alex or to Nick? Did you understand why they are voting to fund at those levels?
Yes.
Okay, great.
You don't have to say yes.
I was gonna say
No,
yes.
don't worry.
You don't have to say yes.
I think I know, but I'm not sure.
We had a discussion with
Scott,
and I also talked to Carly about it early this semester before, so it also shows up in the treasurer manual outside. So
yeah.
The treasurer manual, yes, thank
Oh,
you.
it's in the
They fund travel and lodging at 50%.
Right. Seeing this.
For the students.
Is there a motion on the floor for FBL 82?
Move to approve FBL 82, 18, 19.
Second.
All those for approving FBL 82, 18, 19, raise your hands now. 6-4, 0 against. Wonderful, everyone. Thanks for coming in.
Thank you.
Thank you for your patience.
oh, no problem. They just
We're gonna go back to them.
we're stuck on campus anyway.
Oh, okay. Why are you stuck on campus? You got it.
We're from midnight breakfast, so.
Oh, that's right. There's no bacon though. I heard there's no bacon.
What do they have this time? Last semester was French toasters. It was kind of disappointing.
I don't know, man.
Okay.
They gotta pay for it themselves.
So let's move on
So that's why
to
it's free for you.
Dark Color Comedy. No, not here.
Thank you all. Have a good night. Good luck on finals.
Alright. So we saw a quorum, so Dark Color Comedy, everything looks fine with judgment by this semester, I believe that's technically they were seen this semester, right?
I mean, even if they weren't, it's just the standard fees, right?
I do have a question, why is their marketing package $600?
Because it's for 3 events.
For 3 events?
200 for each. So the total request is for their February show, April show, and May
So
show.
they won't come back.
Yes, basically.
Okay.
This is it for their. So it's $1,000 for them next semester.
Right.
And their,
Wasn't there a thing last year where like they had to be seen as like separate events?
No.
so last year, I think that was like complication and like. I forget about that. Basically, because they had submitted multiple requests or something, so they were being seen like as 2 separate requests. But in this case, they decided to bundle it up because it would have been a repetitive thing anyway. So it's just 1 request for these 3 events, which I am fine with funding. I don't think there's a problem with this, and I don't think it would like set a weird precedent since they're all the same thing, just in different.
And all in the same semester.
Yes, in the same room, same concept,
It's not too bad, yeah.
same price and everything.
Yeah. Okay.
So it's just the comedy.
Yep. Security, audiovisual, marketing.
Alright.
Basically, we just looked over Dog Collar's request. It is about $1,000 for their 3 events next semester. Their 3 improv shows in February and May.
Or ECS, basically.
They're all ECS fees, yeah. So it's $1,000 for marketing.
Okay.
Alright.
Seems fine to me.
Are we good to go?
Move to approve
FBL
FBL 80, 18, 19.
Alright.
Second,
Oh,
Why is it not updating?
I was about to say, is there anything there?
Oh, it's right here. 81. It's 80.
That's why I said 80.
Oh, I'm sorry. Okay, 80.
I said 80.
Thank you,
No,
Kamal.
no, no, no.
Yes.
Alright, is there a second?
Second, I did.
All those for approving Dark Color Comedy for FBL 80, 18, 19, raise your hands now. Alright, 6-4-0 against. That's the end of the meeting, everyone. Except we're gonna do the rest of that stuff.
You gotta do the rest of your stuff, man.
Yeah.
You gotta say what your precedents are.
Model US, Lily is left.
And Model UN.
Oh, and Model UN.
Model UN. We gotta do Model UN.
I do have
And neither of you have received an email from him?
What?
Hello, welcome back.
Hi, welcome to Finance Board.
would you like a round of introductions?
Okay.
They can
Have you
take
heard
bios.
anything back?
No.
Seeing that?
This
Yeah, it's okay. Yeah.
What he said.
I'd like to state for the record that I would be in favor
I got no response.
funding at the 50% rule for how it is now, regardless of having the confirmation of the canceled down deposit or not, as I stated in the last meeting. But I understand where the rest of the board was.
Seeing that, we have a new total of $4,352.
So, is there a nomination?
Or is there
Or sorry, yeah, I can talk, God. Is there a motion? That word.
Move to approve FPL. Where are we? 78, 18, 19.
Second.
All those for funding, what's the amount?
4,000 something.
4,352. 4,352.
All those for funding the $4,352 for. Yes. Okay. Sorry, 5 and 1 abstaining. All right. Yeah,
No,
thank you for coming. Sorry for all the hassle.
Okay.
Refer to your guiding documents, as mentioned earlier, for any other
questions?
Yeah. And Zane's going to talk to you a bit about
Don't worry, Charlie. I saw your comment. I just replied. It's going to be a whoops for me.
No. I put up like 2 days ago.
My bad.
In terms of like getting like funds directly from them.
For Mama Guys.
Should I?
Yeah, I mean, if you're meeting with them.
Bring it all.
Yeah, meetings are like in 2 weeks.
Did I miss something?
I think it's on you.
Hi guys.
Thank you for coming in. Thank you for your
Thanks for your patience with me and my lovely functional e-board.
You're great.
You're like online.
I know.
Yeah, I keep forgetting that I'm on live stream.
I don't think she can.
Have a good night.
Okay.
Hello.
Oh, yeah, you answered it. Okay.
Go, Joshua.
Announcements? Is there an SRC this week?
No, we're done with this one.
For that.
No, I think there was someone.
No, there might have been one like by weekly listed, but it's not supposed to.
Yeah, it's not. We
Well,
have
that's
not
crazy. That's the
Correct.
Oh, for fall. Let me check the calendar. I think we're good.
Okay.
I'm done to
remove.
Are we going to be discussing events
I didn't set that
intended
down.
to?
So, you're not done figuring out what you're doing for next semester.
Nope.
So you are not at announcements and you are not at
Adjournment.
You are back at, what are we doing?
Meeting prep.
That is where you are.
No.
You can't, I do not, and Daniel's chair, but
Daniel, please.
Keep you guys here forever.
Yeah, I don't think
What?
it would be responsible for you to leave without making decisions.
I think what I said at the last meeting was that we should meet up over break.
You need
Why
to.
does it have to go out now?
It doesn't, so it doesn't, I don't think it has to go out now, Daniel, but I do think it needs to go out before students leave. Otherwise, it looks like you're trying to pull a fast one on them. They sent this out over break. They knew we weren't looking at our email. I think that there will be I think you're even going to get some of that now if you send it out at the end of the week. I think that if you wait, I think you need to make, my advice is that you need to make some decisions tonight. But that's up for your board to decide. I think waiting until over break, you can't guarantee that everyone's going to be able to come because it is not a regular meeting and not everyone's here. And that, to be perfectly honest, if you don't make decisions tonight, I feel like you're shirking your duties as finance board members. You have a responsibility to your students to be transparent with them about where you are and what they can expect.
Agreed.
So, while I understand that it is difficult and uncomfortable and hard, it is your job. So it's time to do your job.
Alright, let's put in this new stuff, guys. They needs to be
Is
updated.
it listed anywhere so far what we have voted on besides the minutes? Like, is there a running document now of like, these will be the changes to our precedents now?
Not yet.
Outside of the minutes? No.
Yeah.
There's about to be.
Could that be a Google Doc that we're like editing now?
I can do that.
Okay.
Starting now, but yeah.
So I'm just trying to remember what we talked about like 2 hours ago.
What was it called?
Banquet.
Cool. What's the number up there?
What do you want?
This entire number is out of whack right now. Oh well. So let's enjoy it.
Okay, so far we've
I'll
talked
update the numbers
about
later. What's the
not funding travel and registration at all.
Or lodging.
Yeah. Oh, sorry. Yeah.
Travel and lodging.
Travel. Lodging. That's what I meant.
Jessica?
Distinguish competition
Total
from
amount for
Yes.
South Asian Student
Registration
Association.
distinguishing competition versus a conference.
competition
South
of
Asian
under
Student
25%.
Association total.
Yes.
25%.
Yes.
Was that decided on, or was that
I
spoken
didn't think it was
of?
decided.
I don't think it, yeah, we.
Oh, I thought you voted on it.
I thought we did vote on
You
it.
did vote on it.
I thought it was either
944.
some percentage
2 cents, right?
or no.
Yeah, and I thought you voted them to fund at 25%. But you can check the minutes.
Okay. Because I know Zane and I had said potentially 50%. And I can't remember if like an organization for the registration competition.
Yeah, but debate.
Well, that's check. So, yeah, check the minutes to see.
So then, I think there was a consensus. So we'll look at the minutes just.
Okay.
And then, I don't think we voted.
Okay, so we didn't vote.
Yes.
To fund at 25% for competitions only. It was 4-4 2 against.
You did vote.
And
Okay.
then, yeah.
For competition registration fee, sorry. No travel lodging, 25% competition registration fee. And that excludes all other registration fees for conferences. Okay. Yeah. What else?
You voted funding. You voted to only fund ECS fees for limited funding organizations.
Okay.
You voted to not fund charity events.
Yes.
You voted. What else did we vote? Did they vote on, Jessica?
So far we said charity,
Yes.
competition registration, and ECS.
Yes.
Yeah, I'm trying to see if there was anything else you had voted on.
Those are the ones we took.
You stopped at ECS and then you worked your way into food.
Okay, so you were talking. They were talking about food.
Yeah. And then
I mean, we have a consensus on ECS.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah, that you're gonna fund ECS fees.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And we should do funding limits and food.
So what did we do last year? Do you remember?
12.
Of like how we changed.
Like how we changed, how we cut down. 'Cause
We
cut
were-
down.
And did 5% by the end, I think.
Yeah.
That you would fund them for a percentage of their total.
I think it was like we did like a percent that was under the 10 per head or something.
Wait, wasn't it like change? Like whichever one was cheaper?
Yeah, something
Or yeah, or whichever is cheaper.
You would fund them what?
It was like a certain percentage or per head, but like.
Did we do 65%? Like
everyone was cheaper.
I
don't understand.
I feel like we had 3 different
Like-
meetings with
I
3
don't know.
different like
Ugh.
results.
Oh, shit. Well, that's messy.
I mean, we have minutes for those.
Yeah. So do you want to fund food at a?
Alright, everyone. I'm proud to announce we have a running total of $46,000 worth of the next semester.
That does not include the rollback, the
Does not
anticipated
include
rollback.
of $20,000. So you have 66K to play with. If we just fund ECS fees for large-scale organizations on campus, we can barely make it by.
I like your hat, Joshua.
Just a late number.
Sorry, why?
I think we have made quite a bunch of substantial cuts so far. I am willing to play with how we want to approach food for next semester.
putting it out.
Times what we did last semester, I think you're right, Colonel. I think we did something like 65% were like. That sounds hard.
I think capitation per capita is better. You know, by head. We do it by head, I think, is a better way to do it.
So we were talking about doing both and choosing whichever one's cheaper.
So
like 7.5 ahead.
I'd like to propose something.
Okay.
You'd like to propose something. We can't give them the funds. Let them charge meal tickets.
That's a thing. I think it's a thing.
Charge meal tickets
Or
or
like,
charge
like a
students
ticket.
for entry into the
Yeah.
event?
Or no, like, you know, it's like you want food.
Free for the event, but like pay for tickets.
Yeah,
for
you have to
meals.
pre-order your tickets, like, for food. Or allow them to do tickets of some sort, because we can't come with the money for it.
So yeah, we're.
People will be angry.
Yeah, there's nothing in our.
I mean, they don't have to.
Yeah.
They don't have to do tickets. But if they'd like to, I don't think the board should try and stop them.
What happens if we do this? What happens? What we're saying, like,
I mean, well, then it's just like, it gives them another source of funding.
It just doesn't give them the funding beforehand to get it if they don't already have it in their carryover.
Well, you buy the tickets beforehand. The ticket cutoff day would be like 2 weeks before the event.
Oh, okay. So you get okay.
Yeah. Scott?
With the Papa John's deal for $8 a pizza, basically, that would charge about $1 per piece of pizza at events. Just to give you an idea of what they would be charging.
Okay.
I mean, I proposed the like, it's a good idea in the past, like last year at some point, but yeah, I don't see an issue with that.
facilitate funding, stellar.
The next official member, what's your opinion?
Come on. First come, first served.
I think that this is while the finance board has typically operated where every new finance board has their own set of precedents, I do feel like there have been long-term precedents that have been set. I think one of them is, and I think it's in budgetary policy, I could be wrong, it's not, that events are free.
Nope. Nowhere does it say that. It's just tradition.
Cool. Yeah. So that's what I mean by thinking about that first one. That's gross. But second, thinking about like, what does this say 3-4 years down the road? I don't want people to be like, hey, there was a thing that happened. I think the principle of anyone should be able to go to any event on campus, and there shouldn't be anything that is discriminating people from doing that, including money. And we talk about this principle of if you make people pay, effectively they are paying twice because they're paying their student activity fee and then they're paying again to go to an event. And I have a lot of feels about the double paying principles with campus life, and I think that is a conversation that we need to have with Commons. Because I do not think that this model is sustainable at all. And I think that means that campus life needs to raise the commons fee, and we can talk about lowering the student activity fee, but this is wrong. But that's a soapbox story for another day. I really worry about the long-term implications about this decision, and I do not think that it's what's best for student body right now and incoming people here. And what does that say about the power of the finance board if fall semester events didn't have this, but then magically spring semester did? I don't think that's a good signal. I do not agree with even entertaining this option.
Okay. Well, you do not like entertaining it. Something I think we should entertain. Indeed, Scott?
I think there's a distinction with the event being free and the food at the event being free. You can attend the events without eating.
You did, you could? Oh, I love second class citizens. You can comment. You can look though.
Okay, maybe
It feels a little bit like that, Scott. No offense.
But I mean, that's to me, that's as an economist, perfect price discrimination.
I mean, if we were to talk about price discrimination, I mean, the entire idea of finance board doesn't make sense at that point. It's just like, okay, well, in theory, people who are able to pay should pay. Yeah, like, we can go into supply and demand curves and everything, like, we can run the analysis, like, but, like, economics says, so, like, this is technically socialized, and it's just like, this is literally market inefficiency. The student body market would pay what they would bear then. Those who could afford to pay would pay, and then the rest would not be able to go. Yeah. But, like, clearly we don't operate under that model, so, Tanya.
May I ask a question of the ex officio?
Of course.
Where would you recommend having cuts?
It's either A, increased revenue, or cuts.
No, okay, so first off, I think that this is, I'm going to be very blunt. This is y'all's own doing. You have dug your own grave. And that is because you all have made decisions and you have allocated the way that you all saw fit. And I think that, I am not the person that will ever deny anything from Finance Board because I trust you all that this process moderately works. I think that this is from you all digging your own grave. And I think that this is frustrating because I don't want to limit events happening from other student organizations on campus. Do I think you all should have to pay some consequences for this? I sure do, because you all could have said no to a lot of requests that came in and you didn't. So this is your own doing. Carly and I will not be entertaining significant increases to the Finance Board pot. We already have plans for what that will be. The Finance Board pot has increased by $40,000 in 3 years. And I recognize that we have funded some new things like travel, but this is a perfect example of what can we really support and what can we really not support, what's sustainable and what's not. And I think that learning process, you're going to have situations like this. So I don't have a good answer for you all. I think you need to have conversations amongst yourselves. I think it'd be helpful to have conversations with other student organizations and be really honest and real about what's going on. But make no mistake, this is the position you all put yourself in. And I don't feel like everyone's taking that to heart well enough.
So, what are we going to do to solve this, guys?
Like I said, with food, I think projected that was what, 19,000 of last spring, what was allocated. Taking cuts to food, because I feel like that is one of the biggest, it's like one of the most common things that a student will request for in any event. And I feel like, yeah, that's like a good place to start. But also it shouldn't be like the main drive or like core thing to the event. And I feel like with a lot of, especially large organization events that happen on campus, it's one of like the sole purposes of the event. And I think cutting to that shows that students need to be stepping up. If that's what they really want to have at their event, then they need to be putting money towards that as well. So I think that's some place to start on where we can make more cuts.
I just want to point out that last year the per capita for food was $12 a head instead of 10, so we're already reduced somewhat by that.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't know how that alters math, but it alters math somehow.
Mm-hmm. Oh, I see what you're saying.
Yeah, here's the math. You have, how much, Daniel, is left in the pot? $46,000 left in your pot. And you are hoping for $20,000 of rollback. So you are budgeting at $66,000. ECS fees for last year were $61,000. Taking into account 5% increase, that's $3,000, give or take. You're at 64, you're at your number.
So do we just have meetings where everything's general consent ECS?
Oh. Not like that. No, I think it's, we have to make cuts elsewhere. What do we see as like the bare necessity?
You can
But-
just make cuts
There's
everywhere
no
else
cuts
except we have
anywhere.
ECS.
I see what you're saying.
So, there actually are a couple more points of things we can cut. I mean, what could we cut? I mean, yeah, you're right, ECS. We can work with Spears, ask them to join their events.
Or you say we're only funding marketing at a certain level. I mean, granted, you want people to market,
Yeah.
but $250 gets what? What do they get for that?
Banner, flyers.
Banner, flyers.
Quarter card.
They get a lot. Yeah. So, I mean, that's, I don't know. I'm just trying to help you out with some ideas because I like.
But there's a $200 one there. Is that too? If you scroll down.
Yeah, they just get extra quarter cards. So the 250 gets them 500 quarter cards, a banner, 20-inch by 30-inch, and the INET. And the 200 just gives them a banner, 200 quarter cards, and an INET.
Yeah, that's a lot. And like that's the kind of stuff that can be finessed.
So.
So what marketing would be like raising 200 this month?
Is that a thing?
Yeah. Okay. There are some things we can cut. Organizations get one event this semester. For next semester, you get one thing. None of the small stuff, right? That cuts like another, I think, 2,000 into there. So we can reduce the ECS fees for those, I think. So like, you know, Chit Chat Chai, gone. Right? And then Book Shaban, yeah, sure. The Rouge, sure, yada, yada, yada. Conference, oof. They want to host a conference on campus.
Oh, that's different.
I think it's a no as well for everyone.
Yeah.
Oh, that's an
Wait,
annual
what?
thing. Resources. That's
Is
what they've done every year since I've been here, and it's been a big thing.
Okay, then. Well, UMB Beats, they have not been here. I have not heard about them. Honestly, I don't think they're coming back.
I don't know about that.
Are they still active?
I want to go to their concerts often.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But they're requesting money from us.
No.
Yeah. So, you know, I'm an optimistic guy, so we'll get rid of them too. Menu night, sure. Okay, Club the Maniacs, Center Association.
Whichever one you
Theater Council, well, you already get one, you're not getting a new Playwrights Festival. You get
Right.
one, right?
They
Check
are
that.
not having the playwrights.
Alright, we get rid of them anyways. Hello?
Are you keeping the most expensive item? Because I'm thinking that's what they're more likely to request.
Yeah, that's what they're gonna do, so give them, we'll let them have that one, you know? Fine. Okay,
They're only having
so they
one.
want audio-visual for, like, just utilizing their rooms. You know,
Anime?
using- Yeah, like Anime Society and, like, Investing Club and stuff like that. They'll probably come back and last for us.
They're also going to ask for another, I think, $20 subscription since
to Crunchyroll.
Since their current, yeah, for like a yearly subscription.
Yeah.
Because their current subscription is splitting up into two companies, and they still want both.
Yeah, so, you know, well, so, you know, just for like 80 fees for your like average meetings, I don't think so. .com community came bids, we got rid of that as well. Filmmakers Anonymous, do you think they'll come back? I don't think so.
They kind of got fucked up last year.
Yeah.
Did they come last year?
They did, they got real pissed at us. It was a great time.
No, we're just
Yo, what?
They got real pissed at us.
Oh.
Ooh, good question. Star.
That's the first step.
Star. What do you guys want to do about it? It's only like $2,000. Like Star, Splash, etc.
So what are you trying to get accomplished out of this?
What is it
This
cut?
just seems like very like
Because this is
arbitrary.
made up like this is going based off of last year,
Yeah.
and I think making an assumption that last year is going to be equal, so what's going to happen in spring semester is a naive.
It is, but at least it gives us some idea of what's going on. These things, generally these type of events, they always occur. The price might vary, like there might be variance this year, but these events occur. We have to choose which ones we'll fund and which one we won't, so we can reduce ECS fees overall and make sure that there's an
But
overall value.
why wouldn't you just say, we're gonna fund these things
First come, first
First
serve.
come, first serve.
First serve.
And then you're done.
Yeah.
And I'll tell you, you're gonna have work in March.
Right.
Don't worry about it.
Yeah.
Because if you're doing your finance board reforms, you're gonna have to roll that out.
Yep.
You're gonna need these people to work on it. These people to, there's gonna be work. It's not like they're not gonna be working. Meeting with student organizations to explain those things, which you need to explain to your board. But I say, you say we're funding ECS fees, registrations at 25% for competitions, and
one event semester.
I think even saying that is too definitive. Yeah.
Right, because it promises one event.
Yeah.
You say we
you
will.
put yourself in a corner.
We fund you'll fund ECS fees.
Preface with first come, first serve.
I would, if you're in the corner, I would not play that game.
And do you want to fund something like
You can apply for one.
You're gonna run out of money. It's about when you want to run out of money.
Yeah.
Are you trying to keep meeting through April?
Right.
Because you're not. You're gonna stop meeting in March. Because if they don't get their stuff in by March, they're not having their event.
Right.
Right. So, are you trying to get to the end of March? So if you're trying to get to the end of March, you might get to the middle of March. You say you fund ECS fees, you fund I don't know, something else until you run out of money, knowing that you're not. I think you have to come to terms with you're not going to be able to fund everybody, and it's gonna be first come first serve, and it's not about when they get their stuff into Carly, it's about when ECS says they're ready. So their game has to be on point. And if they come without their paperwork, if they don't come with quotes, you don't see them.
Okay, based on the cuts what I just did, we can reduce the $52,000 in ECS overall, assuming there's no increases.
In ECS fees.
But what did you
No,
cut,
no,
Daniel?
it's damn near everything.
But why?
Maximize value.
No, but what was the logic of cutting versus not?
So the things essentially what I did is like organizations that I think will come back. Organizations that have more than one event, organizations who require especially supplies, organizations whose primary purpose is not towards generally the UMBC body, but outside organizations that all receive cuts. And the organizations requesting generally supplies, yeah, we can reduce costs. There is enough room to work around with.
So you say ECS fees and what? What else are you going to fund? And at what dollar amount or what percentage or what? Until you run out. You're not going to, I think you just got to be ready to say you're not going to make it. You're going to run out of money.
Yep.
That's okay.
Yep.
You just have to sort of be okay with saying no.
Yeah.
Yeah. And if student orgs come and they're not correct with their paperwork, say, unfortunately, we can't hear you. So, sorry. Sorry. You know. So. Is there something else that you would be willing to look at funding? Is there something that's like $10,000 floating around in here, Daniel, at a total?
Well, Carly, how much is in the?
Overall, ECS fees comes up to
Okay, so what are the other things?
What?
Food, decorations.
Yep.
What was food for those
Contracts.
things? Contracts is what? Contracts.
Why is it not hiding? What's not hiding? This is weird. There we go. I'm being stupid right now, Candace. How do I pin this to the very top?
We have to do freeze paint. Isn't it freeze paint?
Where is it?
I thought it was already frozen.
It was
Scroll.
not last time.
It's
Oh, it is.
frozen.
Okay,
It's
then
frozen.
I just hit the wrong things then.
So, but you have to.
Yeah,
just-
not bad. There we go. So food was funded for this for $14,000. Contracts were funded at $11,000. Decorations was funded at a bit over 4,000. Supplies and others was funded at a bit over 7,000. Where's supplies and others going to? Props. And then there's just straight up other. So, I'll be honest, I don't know if you show what that is, but okay. Food every organization gets 1,000.
But that's not every organization gets $1,000.
Yeah, exactly. But it's like you get a max of 1,000, basically they all get $1,000. Right? Contracts come in at 250 each. 300. We'll give them a DJ. Still not enough. Still need to cut another. I mean, it brings us within 10%.
What is it at?
78.
But you're trying to get all of these things funded.
Decorations gets you at 500.
You're not
200.
gonna fund them all.
Yeah. Issue of 15. So I'm 60% cut on that. We get $1,000 for props. Decorations. Reduce food. So we're at 71,000 at that point. We cut marketing packages. What else is there? Other. What is this other? Stripes. 64 within 2,000 now. But there's a will, there's a way. It's fucking cut like a motherfucker.
Let's do
Who watches this? Yeah, this is the reason why I fail something later in the future. Thank Candace for sending that to them.
No,
I would.
So I mean, but I don't know if this is like what kind of guidance are you giving student orgs?
Yeah, like
what type of guidance are we giving them?
this number that you have resulted in. What has been removed to come to that number?
Everything.
Be specific, please.
Also, how does that translate into like Candace said, like guidance / like
What's up, Scott?
I think we'll have to work more closely with student orgs, teaching them how to like make my UBC events for marketing, showing them who to go to set up their page. Going to them for marketing if we don't have any common dish packages.
Yeah.
Go to departments, say who you fall under, who's your advisor, who can we talk to. So it'll be more field work, less team work.
I don't know if I don't know.
Yeah, or we can just do ECS comes first.
Yeah, I mean it feels weird to say
yeah.
You can have your event, but we're not going to fund any flyers for it.
Yeah, it is. Please give me ECS. $61,000 worth of ECS. Yeah. First come, first serve. No, I don't think we give duplicates though. You get one, but it's not guaranteed. You come in for another one, you just don't get it though.
You can ask for it, yeah.
You can ask for it, but I don't think we should give it to them. I think that's the guidance we should give. Finance board of this coming semester will only fund ECS fees. Yeah.
Other comments in the room?
Yeah. So, okay. So I've been brainstorming, and there is also under the student org support in the budget is the finance board pot as well as the marketing fund and the merchandise fund for student organization.
merchandise fund is the t-shirt fund for student orgs. It's $15,000 set aside for that. So far this semester, it's only open for about the first month of each semester. About $9,000 has been allocated for that, and about $7,400 has been spent, or sorry, almost $10,000 has been allocated or requested, and about $7,400 has been spent. An idea I've had is to open it for, I promised student orgs that it will be open again at the beginning of the spring semester. Let every student organization know that the merchandise and marketing fund will only be open for requests for the first 2 weeks of the semester, so, or like February 15th or something. Closed at that date, no more requests would be accepted. Whatever money hasn't been requested of that $4,000 for marketing fund and $15,000 for merchandise fund could automatically be applied to finance board. It's not a lot of money, but it's something.
$6,000.
And whatever, and then like set a spending deadline by like the end of February or like March 1st or something like that, and say you have to spend this marketing and merchandise fund by then, so that whatever was allocated and not spent of that, we would have numbers, because this is a live document that is consistently updated and more reliable, I think, than getting finance board feedback from SABAC, because this is the go-to document that they update. So that could potentially be some money rolled back from those funds, especially because the marketing fund, $4,000, is not typically ever entirely spent.
Yeah.
So that's about $3,000 right there.
Yeah.
At least $3,500
Okay.
potentially.
Seeing that, is that the resolution we'll move forward? ECS only.
I don't want to do that, but I mean, for me, it's like you're planning on, or you're trying to get to the end. I don't know if you're gonna get. I don't know, like if you do ECS only, then a bunch of these events aren't gonna happen. So
what do we do?
I feel like
so.
But I also think that there is a this is like really difficult, right? I recognize. So part of it is, I think, student organizations work really hard, and we should support them in whatever they do, and that often comes financially. That's probably like a big part of finance board. The other part of finance board, though, is the power of this board comes from the precedents you set, the budgetary policy, and having a constraint of how much money you have to allocate. Power from this board comes from y'all's ability to say no. Again, I do not think the board has executed that power at all fall semester. This is going under the assumption that you continue that pattern of not executing that power. I'm not saying it's a fun thing to do, but I think it's either do you put on 45 mediocre to crappy events to 20, 25 really solid, good events that turn out a lot of people. I think that's a decision everyone needs to make here.
Our guiding documents also say that we should prioritize clubs that collaborate. If we try and consolidate all of the theater clubs together to make one good show, I think that would be better than a bunch of crappy shows.
We've already been collaborating to consolidate multiple events to only.
Or if we try and do that with every club.
That's micromanaging, though.
Yeah, that's like, yeah, that's beyond our scope.
I feel like, but this could be a chance for finance board members to get out of just like, oh, seeing requests coming in this time and like knowing that we don't have much money to work with, being able to work with the student orgs that we're like assigned to collaborate with and be kind of an advisor or consultant person, and working with them on the front end of like, I guess now it's too late in the semester, but saying to them like over break and at the beginning of the spring, like, hey, there's not like a lot of money finance board has to work with, here's how we can cut costs in your event or whatever it is you're planning to do, and like working with them more closely in that regard. So I think that's like a potential for finance board to step up to. And yeah, this is going to be a challenge, but I think we can get through it and like Colin said, executing our power to say no and deciding, is this the best use of what we have left? So,
Okay.
I'm interested in hearing from folks that I haven't heard a lot from.
What's up, Kunal?
I don't know where to start. I'll be able to Colin was talking about 20 to 25 events that are really good. I don't feel like we should fund events just for the sake of it. Just for like just ECS, because I don't feel like we're supporting them enough. So I can see where you're going with the ECS just funding that, but personally I don't want to. And
So like I'm approaching it from the perspective of just like the entire time we've always been here, it's always been for science sports sold. Every organization relies on us. You know? The make or break your event is reliant upon finance sport giving you money. Right? This one gives them an opportunity. Alright? We give every organization the opportunity to succeed. Rather than us picking and choosing which ones get to succeed. Fully funding ECS gives every single organization a shot. Like, you know, they get a chance.
I'd also like to say, I think we were talking about this in our prep meeting, but Tori brought up and Tanya had listed, this is also a chance for us to promote and really encourage Grit Starter and other resources of fundraising, students more connected with that regard, so that there are other chances for them to find the self-advocacy and other means of funding, and encouraging that and pursuing that.
What do you want to do?
I see the merit in both, because at this, like, before it was said, I'm echoing like Candace's comments of like a lot of organizations won't put on events if we only give ECS fees. But at the same time, I think that it's been like a core part of like finance board's ideology up until this point that like this is the least that we can provide them. I'm torn. Yeah, that doesn't give an answer, but I'm torn.
Right. You don't have any good answers, but you need to pick one.
Right.
So.
Okay.
Because, like,
the options are you say we fund DCS fees, and also apparently 25% of competition.
I think we should strike that. We don't have the money for it.
That's a conversation for your board. But you've agreed to fund competition registrations at 25%.
You don't get to go to national.
And the ECS fees. So that's the one option. What's the other option? To say we will fund ECS fees and consider other things, but we may say no. I don't know how you phrase it.
I actually think it'd be helpful to start writing down options on the board so everyone can see them.
Yeah.
I think that there's a couple.
Turn off the computer.
Or you can just project it, like open a Word
document. A Word document.
Because I think that there could be a few more options. I think you can continue with precedents that you all have already set, and when it runs out, it runs out. That's an option that you all can choose.
Yeah, you'll run out.
You'll run out, but you can choose to continue to operate how you have been and be forward with student organizations. That's the route that you plan on going.
Option 2. Options.
Can you make the percentage of the window larger? Right.
Yeah, I got you.
That's a big no.
I still think you can. I think first come, first serve, but I do think that you just need you need to focus on campus.
I think
I think that's a given. Like I said, every dollar you send off campus is a dollar you're not spending here.
How much would we save if we didn't do like 25% of competition registration?
Probably not a lot.
Oh yeah. So it's not saving anything.
So you're not. So you don't entertain anything that's off campus.
That's not primary purpose.
So I think, is there an option to, or can we create an option to do like ECS up to like X amount of events and then do like potential other funding based on whatever, something else? My brain isn't quite, I don't know.
Yeah,
Sorry, where to go.
So,
Sorry,
go ahead, Tom.
I was gonna say like, so maybe we don't like look at like ECS for like every single request, like we set, like we're going to see X amount of requests, do ECS for those, and then have some other amount of the money like dedicated to whatever other aspects of the event we want funded.
What's that, Bill?
I'm sorry, I don't know if I'm making more sense or not.
I don't think I got that.
Yeah.
So like, how many line items were on there? Like 70 initially, or
Yeah,
whatever?
but I mean, I don't think you can operate. That gives you a ballpark, gives you sort of an idea.
Well, no.
To me, that's like saying that you won the lottery last year, and that is exactly how much you're going to win again in the lottery. this
No,
year.
I'm saying like, if you say like, okay, we're going to like fund the ECS for like, or we're going to fund like 30 events on campus, and then just like do the ECS and then see how much is left over. And like,
Yeah, I think I do not think it is a good idea to put hard quantities to anything. So
Okay.
saying one event for every org, terrible
No.
idea. Saying 30, like just you're going to lock yourself into commitments that you may not be able to fulfill, and you're going to have more organizations that are pissed off at you all for different reasons.
Yeah.
okay.
I think language you use needs to be very deliberate. So if you say, first come, first serve, we're focusing on campus, I think you can set a, I don't know, if you want, I don't know, set a dollar amount for food, have a max, like, because you did that today, you said, we know what they're being charged, we're not gonna do the max, it's gonna be the $9 or whatever. But you could say, we could do $5, maximum of $5. What's up? What happened? But, I mean, and you're not, I mean, you say we're not funding decoration, I don't know, like, if it's not essential to your event, you're not doing it. And I don't know if decorations are essential to the event. I think you gotta say what you're, and then I think whatever you send out to student orgs, you say, here's what we can fund until we run out of money. And here, I mean, and we are going to run out of money. And we will let you know when we run out of money.
So to circle back, are these the only two options that we have?
I'd first like to say the first come first serve is hands down for every request. That's how it's always been. So it's not really an option. That's just more of.
But I think it is something you have to remind student orgs about.
Oh, absolutely. I think that should go.
So
on the
I
email.
would, Carly, to your point, I would reword option 2 to say operate as is.
Yep.
Is that still within the confines of
I think, so to just make Carly's point very explicit, it is a known fact that finance board will operate on a first come, first served basis. But it is reiterating that message relentlessly to student organizations moving forward.
Yes.
And that you are on track to run out of money. Soon.
We have a time frame.
Nope. I mean, it depends
Yeah,
on what comes through your door. I mean, and that's
Probably
part
second
of
week of February.
right, and that's part of the reason why this process is unsustainable, because you never know what's coming. You just don't. And nobody budgets that way. You don't budget that way. You know what your bills are. You know how much money you have.
Were we fine last year?
Once you run out.
Yeah, when did we work? Like when?
April?
Yeah.
Yep.
But you ran out.
Yeah, we did.
And were there people that you had to say no to?
No.
Oh,
Yeah.
no, yeah.
Not really.
To some
It
extent.
was like 2, I think.
Oh, we ended up. So there were only
Yeah,
there was only
partial
one
failure.
event that we gave no money to.
Yeah.
We ended up we had enough to give at least like ECS fees to the first section.
Okay.
And then we allocated like this is all we have to give you. So
Even though it's an option, I don't particularly like in favor of an option.
Option 1?
Well, are these the only two options? Because Candace, I thought you mentioned something else and I already forgot it.
Can we go back to Bill Gates for money?
Like what?
You mentioned something else and I
Like
forgot
cutting
it.
decorations and
Well, I mean, they've
only things that are
they've
essential.
come. Well, I mean, I think that they can operate as one of the options is operate as is, but including the things that you've already voted on. So operate as is, but you're not funding travel. You're not funding conferences.
To me, that's like an option 3. I would
Okay.
say that's an amendment to precedence.
So yeah, so option 3 is
We're not funding competitions or conferences.
operate as is with modified precedence. So you focus on campus. You don't fund charity events. You don't fund you fund ECS fees for limited funding organizations, and that's it. Like that's the only thing you'll give them. You don't do travel or lodging or registration, right? And charity, yeah. I mean,
So
the
is that
things you already agreed on.
Is that removing the 25% registration for competition?
I think that's what you.
Well, I mean, so I think big picture, I think these are the 3 options big picture, and if the board picks option 3, then I think that's a conversation for what are the modified precedents.
They've already voted on
They've already
those.
voted on that.
Okay, cool. Never mind.
They voted on them.
Yeah.
So they have what they would be comfortable with as modified precedent.
Perfect.
But I do think that with 2 or 3, you have to say, we're going to run out of money. We don't know when, but we are going to run out of money. And I think, just say we're and I think you can offer an explanation as to why. You don't have to, but you can. I think you can just say, you know, we funded a lot of stuff in the fall, and we never know what's coming to us, and it's hard for us to budget. That's why we're looking to make this whatever. Why there's some conversation about adjusting how finance board operates.
I would also like to say, I think all of this going into, I'm just imagining like this email being sent out to all student organizations and what else that's going to say. And I think the other things that I need to say is obviously emphasizing the first come, first served basis.
Yes.
And I'm okay with saying in that email that like these are what we're considering. Like I think we should have an idea if we don't decide, but like I also kind of want to leave it up to, in this email saying to student organizations, hey, we don't have a lot of money left, and whether we do know how we're going to operate for next year or we don't, like, you need to submit a request as to, like, if you need to kind of get on your end and plan. And I think trying to encourage orgs to submit requests over the break by February, or like during February, and letting them know, like, hey, this is go time, like, there's not a lot of money left. If you want to do anything next semester and you're hoping to get funding from finance board, submit it over winter. And I feel like that, if we can get as many requests submitted over winter, and I can share that with you all, and we can kind of see like what is coming in, then maybe by the first meeting, I know this is like very hopeful and optimistic, but if we can get as many students on the bandwagon of like, you need to submit a request now to let us know how we're going to approach this, what we're going to do. And then that can give us a better idea in the very first meeting of deciding, okay, for the rest of this year, we're going to do this. And that being a follow-up email to all student leaders again saying, okay, this is how finance board will operate, this is how much money we have, and like trying to get student leaders to give us as much information about what they're planning on doing as soon as possible, if that makes sense.
Daniel, what are you doing?
Yeah.
So anything that you send out, I'm going to tell you is going to need to be vetted.
Yeah, don't worry.
It's going to need to be vetted by me, and I'm going to tell you it's going to have to go, I would probably say it's going to need to go all the way up the chain.
Okay.
So
Up the chain.
Nancy. Nancy's going to want to see this before it goes out. 100%. If she gets blindsided by this, as I'm sure you would feel, she would, like, it would, because when, and I'm being transparent, when things don't go well for student organizations, they complain about SGA to Campus Life, and it becomes a Campus Life project, which then becomes my first. and then eventually Nancy. And so you just always, I think, like I said, part of my job, is, as I see it, is to make sure you don't walk into rooms where you're going to get punched in the face. If you send this out without letting Nancy know, or Dan, or me, what it is, it's not going to turn out well for you. So, yeah. I just want to go on the record. Jessica, I want to go on the record. I say that. But it is. So are you ready to, are you all at a point where you want to vote on something? Option 1, 2, or 3? I don't know what you're doing. Daniel, what you doing?
What are we doing?
I don't know, man.
You dropping that email now?
Send.
Go ahead, Daniel.
I like it.
It was nice.
Alright, everyone.
You have what?
So, no, what do you want to do? Or do you want me to go first?
You go first.
I can go first. Another question. No, I can go first. 1 or 3? 1 or 3?
That's what I was
towards. 1 or 3? We lean towards 3. I'm leaning towards 3.
Are we going in circle?
Yeah.
Does it matter?
Yeah.
So left or to the right?
What is modified precedent?
Modified precedents what we just voted on. And all money stays on campus.
I'd be willing to revisit the off-campus, the conference.
Yeah.
Anyway, I'm also leaning towards 3.
Scott?
I guess we have to keep everything on campus, so like the 25% like is kind of redundant.
Yeah, I don't.
Right.
Those are things though. But like option 1, 2 is here.
I don't know if the modified precedent starts. So.
Money stays on campus, charity organizations. You know what we voted at the beginning of the thing?
Yeah, all those things.
Yeah.
All those things, yeah.
You want to go through those again?
No travel or lodging. The way we currently have it
Everything on
is.
campus.
Yeah.
What do we fund on campus?
Limited
No
funding
charity
organizations. No charity events.
And limited
Limited
fund.
funding boards except
Or base
Yeah.
ECS
All the
fees.
ECS.
Yep.
Can we do that?
Yeah.
We're around about it
Oh,
eventually.
we'll run out before option 1.
Yes, you will.
Yeah, we will.
I think with option 3, is there the opportunity to like modify them further?
Of course. Might as well do what it wants to
We'll
do.
end up at 1. We'll start at 3, go to 1.
That's not the point. I sure hope not.
3, skip 2.
So Scott?
Yes, 3.
3? Zane?
Yeah, I would also say 3 as in terms of what Colin mentioned earlier. I think Candace also said it. In terms of executing our power of saying no in certain situations and consistently considering the whole request. I know sometimes, like obviously with ECS fees, obviously like those are like have to happen for organizations, but I think just making sure that everything else is like essential to an event that's happening on campus. But I think option 3 is kind of the only viable and like equitable and fair manner in which you can like continue to operate as a board for campus.
Tanya?
3, with further modification to food decoration contract.
Okay. Denal?
She said.
We're rolling with option 3,
What was
everyone.
that one more time? What did you
Oh, further modification to food decorations and contract.
Okay.
Okay.
So if you go with 3, I think the modified precedents, as well as you can define them,
Need to be sent
I
out.
would say like 90% of those precedents
Yeah.
need to be modified and done and need to be sent out in that message.
Yeah. Yes.
Yeah.
So I'd say to Daniel
Yeah.
is to draft this as a Google Doc
Oh, you're right.
and then to share it out for edits, and so that it can be, and then we shoot for sending it out on Friday, but if sooner, better. So, but yeah, I think what Carly said about telling student organizations, we cannot emphasize enough that this is first come, first serve.
Yeah.
That if you are in the planning process for an event and you want to even possibly be considered, you need to accelerate that. because if you wait, the likelihood of receiving any funding becomes
Extremely.
big-
Do we
extremely
have
low.
do we have like finance board at UMBC.edu?
Yep.
We do.
Yeah.
Do we have access to it?
Yeah, Carly does.
Do we? Okay.
Yes, Carly, you have access.
You have access to it.
I get the. I think I'm forwarded onto it. I know you're not the owner. I don't know who the owner is of this account.
So, regardless, I think it would be helpful. Carly, can you double check right this second if you do?
Yes, I do.
Okay. So I think it'd be helpful if we can clear that inbox now, or put it in a folder or something, and in this message have it go to that finance board at umbc.edu. That way we can all.
Well, not everybody has access to that inbox.
Well, we can put it on our T-ticket to get everyone.
Yeah.
That'll take a day.
Yeah.
But I think it'd be helpful if it was in one centralized inbox, because this is not something to F around with.
Yeah. No.
So.
Okay. So.
Can you actually put it in the RT ticket? I can actually.
What are you saying?
Can I like have your computer and just put in the RT ticket on your behalf?
Yeah. So what I'd say, Daniel, is if you want to draft something, or if you feel you have the capacity to draft something, great. If you don't, that's fine too. We can find someone else to draft it. You got the capacity for it? I'm asking.
Yeah, probably.
Okay. So, and then if you draft it, and then you share it with the finance board members for comment, and then we can massage it a little bit, and then if by that's tomorrow, so if by the end of the close of business on Wednesday,
I'll be done by tomorrow.
yeah. Well, so yes.
I'm writing my paper, right?
No, you need to write your paper. That's why I'm saying you write what you can write. You send it out to the group. If there are things that you missed, you have lots of eyes. I think Carly has some strong language around like the first come first served. Your thing in January to do it. I think she's got an idea around how to phrase that. And then if we can try to get something to Nancy and Co. quickly.
Dude.
And say, I mean, she's aware.
Yeah.
Like, I have run that up the poll, so it's not going to be a surprise. But I do want her to know what it is that you decided.
Dude, very well. So there's a modified document. Put your thoughts into it by tomorrow. Close of business. I don't know what we're going to modify our precedents to. What up?
How many off campus? This is all? Is it off or up? I can't see it.
It says off.
Okay, I'm sorry.
No charity events, no money off campus, limited funding organization can only receive ECS fees for events that are open to the public, open to UMBC. Yeah.
Expressly open.
Yeah. And it's yeah, and you get so.
What else was there?
No travel.
That's the no money on campus. So we just, I think you just need to type an email out on this page.
Right, I was thinking that too. It's like
I think you, not right now. I don't think right now. I think people need a break.
Right now it's not a good
But Daniel, when can you commit to having something drafted on here for people to review?
Yeah.
You can title this modified precedents.
This is modified.
Well, that doesn't mean anything without context.
So when do you think you can have something, or do you need some help with that?
What time is it right now? Give me 2 hours.
Okay.
How about you do it on Arrested Mind?
Wait, this is what you're on. I don't sleep.
It's like, no, the markets are open. How about you do it? How about you do it on the mind that's been off of finance board for a couple hours?
Okay, sure.
Is that better?
So
you don't have to
lunchtime
sleep.
tomorrow.
Lunchtime tomorrow. We can get together. We'll take this out.
Lunchtime
I'll bother you.
tomorrow.
It's your day. But like, you know.
I got a busy day tomorrow. Lunchtime. Daniel will have something. Lunchtime tomorrow for people to look at. Please commit. Can you commit? Can you commit to reading it?
2:15. I have a meeting at 1, so I'll look up a little bit for that one. You're coming, right?
What's Z14?
Huh?
Z14.
Yeah, it is. Don't send anything like Dan. He gets pissed.
So, can you all commit to doing comments, suggestions on that by close of business on Wednesday?
Indeed.
At 5.
5. That's 5 o'clock on Wednesday. So that on Thursday morning, after those comments have been integrated, that can go to Nancy and Dan and say, this is the message. What comments, I mean, it's going to be super short notice for her, but, I mean, yeah, we'll see. I will give her a heads, I will make sure a heads up is given to her, or someone will.
Did you share this already?
So,
Yeah,
it's in the shared folder, it's in the drive. So, but for this to go out Friday, and not Friday at 5 o'clock, and not Friday at midnight, like Friday, just Friday.
2 a.m.
And then if people have questions, they're gonna come here, or they're gonna ask, and say, yeah, we know. And I think you can put some language in there, Daniel, about like
what?
How I don't know. Never mind. I don't know.
I have some ideas.
So yeah, but I think that's where you're at.
Let me end this meeting.
Okay.
Okay. Meeting ended, everyone. No?
I have to recognize.
Oh wait, Jessica has something.
Consensus of the 25%.
Oh,
yeah,
gone.
you didn't
That's
vote.
good.
Did you
All
vote?
right,
Or she wants to?
For the 25% registration fee off campus for competitions, would we like to strike that?
Yes.
All those for, please raise your hand now. 6-4, 0 against. Thank you very much, Jessica, for keeping such nice minutes.
Was that discussed though?
We gotta deal with this one first.
Oh.
All right. End the meeting, everyone. Close this shit down.
It's like almost like